the place for all your gaming news, plus hot topics of the week. Also, remember to follow us on Twitter at KMega4.
From like the 1860s or 1820s that they started the town. Like,
no, sir.
That's a century plus before air conditioning was invented. Why would they go there back in those days and say, yep, Satan's asshole, we're going to live right here?
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Satan's asshole. Let's go, 2022.
That's the way to start the weekend.
That's the way you start the weekend with Satan's booty hole. Booty hole. Oh, my goodness.
Death Valley for you.
Death Valley. All right. Well, thank you, Slayer, for that information. Anyway, the GRG podcast is live. It's 2022, baby. It's new things on the way. I cannot wait. I know that I have been saying this for the last 3 years, that I have been contemplating to want to do something different and new and do this and that and all of that. But the shackles are off now. I'm ready to get to it. So 2022 is going to be, it's going to be a different, you're going to see a lot more of K Mega 405. That is a promise. But before we do that, and hopefully, one of our guests that's supposed to be here, hopefully he can come on here a little bit later. If not, then maybe we can try to schedule him to come on next week. But the other guests are here, and so we need to go ahead and start them off and let everybody know what's popping off here. With man, I sit here and this man hits me up every once in a while. I hit him up and say, hey, man, you know, I want to see if you want to come on. Next thing you know, he's so nice. He's like, hey, Mega, it is so great to hear from you. You are, man, how's your family? How is life? Is everything wonderful and spectacular? I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, could you come on to the show? Well, no, I really can't. But, man, hit me up the next time. So I'm like, all right, great.
Are you making it hot?
So I hit him up again. And then he says, you know what? Hey, Mega, how's life? How's everything, man? Wonderful, isn't it? 2021 is spectacular.
You put him on blast.
And I said, man, can you come on to the show? Man, I just can't. But you know what? Life is great. So then I hit him up this last time. And my main man, Centurion, said, man, hey, Mega, how you doing? Life is great. How's you and the family? I said, man, it's great. It's good to talk to you, brother. I say, man, can you come on to the show? Mega, and I was expecting to hear it again. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. But he was like, yeah, and I'm like, wow. So life is great. And it's I had to do it. I put my boy on blast. But since you're on, man, 1307, man, so glad to have you on, man. It's been a minute because you came on a long time ago, but you know what I'm saying? It is a pleasure. And for the people out here who don't know you, which if they live under a rock, man, please let everybody know where they can find you at, man. It's good to have you on, though.
Dude, it's great to be here. First podcast of 2022.
Yes.
Dude, when you reached out to me again, I was like, definitely, I need to be there. I enjoy coming here. I never laughed so hard as I did when I came here that one time. You guys had me practically on the floor laughing. But man, for those that do want to find me, you can find me at Centurion 1307. I do have a small YouTube channel. I also have a persona that I play on there called Fanboy, where I like to poke at the fun things that community members do. Just basically because it is, man, we're all here to have fun, and we really shouldn't take this stuff that seriously. But man, yeah, I definitely couldn't miss this. And even with having a root canal last week, I still wanted to be here.
No, I understand. No, man, it is awesome, man. I just wanted to point out how nice you are about letting me down every time that I hit you up. You know what I'm saying? I never feel bad about it. Like other people, I hit them up and like, hey, man, what? GR what? Oh my God. Okay. No. I'm like, all right, well, thank you. But no.
I really love it when people send invites out to me. I feel very humbled when somebody would want to reach out to me because it's like, well, who am I? You know, I'm just another member of the community. We're all friends here, and that's where I get humbled when people want to let me into their little world and let me be part of their great shows.
No doubt, man. But it is an honor, man. I really do appreciate it. And keep up, man. Always be you, man, because you're so polite. It is wonderful, man. It is a delight. No doubt about it. All right, man. So we're moving on here, and we go into somebody else that I talked to, man. He is very polite too. Even if his name isn't very polite. But regardless of the fact, man, if there's somebody that I want to talk to about Halo, other than Don, it's always this man here. And listen, this person here will always be one of my closest like comrades in these gaming streets, just for the mere fact that he was the one to give me the access to the Series X when it was nowhere to be found. And I cannot, man, I can't thank him enough, because I was over here screaming to the heavens like, why I can't get you? And then, you know, it just came out and it happened. So, man, One Bad Mother, man, what's happening, brother, man? Thank you for come on, man. I know that you, what you do, you're really busy and all of that. But, man, let everybody know who doesn't know what you do, know about your channel and everything else that you got going on with your writing and all that.
Well, hey, yeah, thanks, K Mega. It's good to be on, man. Good to get caught up. It's like I came on here just so we can get caught up because, you know, for people who don't know, you know, I put in many thousands of hours into Halo over the last few years, and you know what? K Mega's been there for many of them.
Yeah.
And he's heard me complain about my internet for many nights, and
still get about 20 to 30 kills. It's crazy. I'm like, what is going on here?
And you know, and I've heard, you know, K Mega stories with about clowns and everything else, and so
oh my God,
it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we got caught up, so I'm like, you know, I got to jump on here just so we can get caught up because, you know, while you're doing this Valhalla thing, you know, that seems like a project, and so you know, this is a chance for us to kind of see how things are going, and yeah, man, you know, it's always good to get caught up, and it's a new year. I actually, surprisingly, there's some good topics to cover right now, and you know, I think you got some good ones to talk about tonight. People want to find me. I work with the Xbox Era team. I'm, you know, senior editor over there. I haven't been last couple months. I've been light on content because I had some sprint things going on with my other job, my real job. But you know, I'll be getting some things going again, and I'm helping also for those that didn't see it. We're putting out a book, and we have a really good artist that's been leading that project. So it's regarding the OG Xbox celebrating the 20 years. It was a Kickstarter. We hit our goal, so kind of look that up. If you haven't already, it actually is a really, really cool book for anybody who's been around the Xbox platform since the beginning. Definitely want to check that out. But other than that, I also have a Halo podcast. So, you know, every other week we meet and talk about Halo. That is the only thing that's on our agenda all year. So if there's anybody in your audience that likes Halo, check out some of our recent shows. We had a spoiler cast a couple weeks ago, and then this week we talked a lot about the where we think this franchise is going next. So, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting into some of the topics today.
Yes, no doubt, man. Appreciate it. And then, our man Addict, I sit there and I hit him up, but you know how Addict is. Well, I know how Addict is. I talk to Addict quite a bit, actually. And, you know what I'm saying? Well, he's usually asleep or he's doing something else and he's working or something or whatever. He'll hit me up here a little bit later. Mega, wait a minute. I thought it was next week. No, it was this week. Oh, well, come on to my show when I do mine. Yeah, that's what Attic is going to say. So hopefully Attic will come on here a little bit later.
That's 2 blasts for one night. Wow.
I got to blast Attic. But no, anyway, but shout out to Attic. Hopefully that he's doing this thing, and then hopefully that he can come back. He can be on here a little bit later. But if not, then we'll just schedule him to come on next week or whatever. So, but shout out to him and to the Iron Lords. No doubt, man. And big shout out to, because I haven't really, I've given out congratulations, but I haven't really said it out there. But shout out to Lord Cognito for getting out there and being with the Oculus Rift team.
Oh,
Oculus Quest or whatever.
Congrats. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, big shout out to him, man. They're doing big things. I seen the King David and them. They was on daily on live daily or whatever and things and Fonz and them. So man, it's good to see people who's been on this show, who's been a member and's gone and is doing big things. And then, just seeing people that I've collaborated with, talked with and things like that, just doing great stuff, man. And that just shows that 2022 is going to be big things for people who's out there taking this stuff seriously and not about the bullshit. But anyway, let's get on to the members. The podcast, man. I haven't talked to anybody but one particular person, and that is D, because you know what we did? We played some Gears. So we can't have anybody giving me any slander because I made sure that me and my girl was going to go ahead and play some Gears, and we'll definitely do it again. So how are you doing, D? How was your time off, man? I know that So how you feel good and refreshed, ready to go?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it funky, but yeah, it was nice to have a break. But there were just good and bad things happen while on break. So there's kind of a balance, but all in all, I'm just happy to be here. We had our Festivus Miracle. We played Gears together. It was fun. Do it again. Anybody else can join. But I had a good time. My birthday and Christmas. It was good, but it's great to be back too. I hope you guys had a good holiday and food and stuff. Some breakfast.
Oh yeah,
breakfast.
Did you eat some breakfast before the show tonight?
Oh, the entertaining part. Here we go.
What did you eat before the show? Yeah, go ahead.
So today, unfortunately, I didn't have breakfast. I had dinner. My aunt made this lemon chicken pasta. But peep though, to everybody out there that likes breakfast like I do, get you a mini waffle maker, mini, right? And then you get them cinnamon rolls in the can, and you make cinnamon roll waffles. It'll change your life. Y'all heard it here first.
Wow.
So then it's like a cinnamon roll, but it's a waffle. But then you got the cream cheese frosting. You put syrup. Crack.
So you have so you making snack like cinnamon roll waffles. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
That does sound
apparently delicious. I bought a mini waffle maker apparently some point at Target. Never even used it. Busted it out over the break, and the thing got all nice and fluffy, and I put just a little bit of syrup and some cream cheese frosting. Delicious. Try it. Y'all let me know if y'all try it. Delicious.
My God.
You know what? I think when we do this new podcast, I think that when the subject comes, it's going to be food related. I think that's where it's going to start going. But regardless,
I mean, I like breakfast. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, no, I love breakfast. I can eat breakfast 24 hours a day. I love breakfast like that. So I feel you. I love breakfast. All right, man. And then my main man, Six Slayer, man. I haven't talked to you in a little bit, man, but it's good to hear your voice, man. And how was your holiday weekend and just time off, man? How was everything?
Just before we address that, listen. just because you played a couple of funky games of Gears does not, sir, make you immune from any type of slander, sir. You know, it's the slander hot zone.
And Abacab, this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla that you're seeing, but they have a crossover,
transitions,
a free crossover with Cassandra and I'm playing with Eivor. I play Eivor as a female, so I don't know. I don't know why. A lot of people told me that I should play as the male Eivor, but I dig the female Eivor because she's rugged, she's raw. But while Cassandra in Odyssey is more, she's a really, I mean she's probably my favorite character next to Bayek. Overall, Cassandra is, yes. But she's a girl. You know what I'm saying? Eivor isn't. Eivor is raw. She's a beast. But I love her. Look at that. Look how she choking dude out. But that's what this is. This is Valhalla. Look how she choking that big, and then she roars up like.
Now then. That was a nice distraction.
I did.
Now back to the slander. Okay, back to the slander. And I'm just messing with you, homie. But 2022. Oh man, I've just been playing a lot of Halo. That's the only game I really have time for. And like I said, been practicing what I preach, man. Just iron PC parts, man, to build this new PC this year, man. 2022 is gonna be a blast. Unfortunately, we just heard about E3.
Yeah.
God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Once again, man. Sure. But yeah, but not to end my segment on a down note, man. I'm just happy, for the new year and there's still lots of stuff to happen. So let's just keep it going.
Yeah, lots to discuss. No doubt. So all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna definitely talk about E3 here next. But I do want to touch on this because I have my main man, One Bad Mother in here, and I gotta say something about Halo. So have to ask, and so this could just be an open discussion real quick, and then we can just get on to talking about E3 next. But the situation, like I've been on Twitter, I've posted some things, but I haven't really paid attention. I sit there and I when I take my time off, I'm away. I don't really deal with anything or whatever. I just may look at a couple of things or whatever. But the one thing that I kept seeing constantly was talking about Halo's peak numbers for online, basically, I guess off of Steam, and they're basically talking about how down they were compared to when the game first launched, and the game has only been out for tomorrow will be a month, and this is showing signs that the game is already dead. So, One Bad Mother, I'm going to start off with you on this one. What is the indication behind this? Because I the last time I played Halo was about a week ago, because I've been playing Assassin's Creed on my backlog, trying to get this done, but is it to you one of these things where it's just a fanboy, they just want to get people to be pissed off or try to have some kind of fake concern about Halo? Or is Halo in some kind of trouble right now because their numbers doesn't seem like as substantial as they were when the game first launched?
Well, I think it's just everything. So obviously, if you've been on Twitter, you know that people dramatize everything, But yeah, there is some challenges right now, and you and me have always been kind of plugged in over the last few years. Obviously, with my show and the fact that I'm pay close attention to the Halo community. Yeah, there's some aspect of people kind of like, oh, well, I'll wait until 343 gets off vacation and starts tweaking some of these things before I get back in it. But even despite that, for those that don't know, like big team battle matchmaking is kind of a mess right now. Like ever since they added the new modes, that has been a struggle. If you try to get a big party and jump on there right now, you're probably not going to hit on it. And we know like the progression and everything, they've already acknowledged that stuff. So I think a lot of people did kind of step back, but even with that all, it's still been top 5 on the Xbox. If you look today, I think it was still in the top 5, and it's generally been 3, 4, 5 for the last couple of weeks. Even with that, we saw the engagement from the competition they did on Twitter, which was kind of crazy for an arena game. It's not a battle royale. It is something different, and I think right now they have that lane kind of all to themselves. overall, like big picture, it's healthy. People all acknowledge that the game plays really well. Even the people that are crying the loudest, overall, from a gameplay standpoint, people. It has a very positive mind share from a standpoint of progression, and there is technical issues around it. It's not just me anymore that complains K-Mega about internet. It has some technical inconsistencies with like desync, and people have called that out. And so there is some people that have stepped back, but it with these types of games, free to play especially, that's what people do. It's like, okay, well, you're going to drop some more content. You're going to do this thing. I'm going to go over here and catch up on my backlog or play these other things, and I'll come back in a few weeks. But just the fact that, a couple weeks ago, you saw that engagement they had on, I think they set records on Twitch for the competition that they had. And then even still, like that, the numbers are still healthy. They're just obviously down from where they were a few weeks ago. But this is not one of those types of games that it's like, where it's at today is where it's going to be at a few months from now. These are the types of games that, you come out with a big content drop. You're going to get and it's things that people are talking about. The engagement generally spikes. And we even saw with Sea of Thieves, which is a paid game, got 5 million. It had 5 million players in a month when they dropped that, that Pirates, the Caribbean DLC over the summer. So, I mean, that's a game that's a few years old. It's a niche game. It's not free to play, and it had 5 million players in a month. So I guess what I'm saying is that Microsoft knows how to. They know how to handle these types of games. For all the challenges that they do have in certain areas, these are not the ones. These are not the things they don't understand. And so, I'm expecting. I expect over the summer, especially when they get the co-op and all that other stuff, it's going to have some big spikes coming up in the year. And we know they have a lot of people working on content right now. So yeah, it's not anything to worry about. I do think that 343, as soon as they get back next week. I think they're still off this week. Most of them are, or at least part of the studio is. When they get back next week, they do have to start communicating with, they do have to lay out the roadmap just to get people to stop talking. Because when people don't hear from you, they're always going to assume the worst. And so that's what's going on right now too. Is they've been quiet for 3 weeks. It's the first time they've been quiet for a while because of the vacation, and that leaves that basically you can't be proactive on that stuff, right? So they're getting hit a little bit in social media, but end of the day, the numbers still look healthy overall.
No, I think that what you're saying is accurate. I mean, do anybody else want to touch on that? Strax, man, I see you up in here. Yeah, we got room for you, brother. How you doing?
You finally saw my text.
Yeah.
Strax, man.
Yeah, man. You just can't get enough. You was just on Crossfire, man. What you doing? You must not got a chance to talk.
Man, it was cold outside, bro. And I know you feeling it in Oklahoma too.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
We just got 6 days, and I was like, you know what? I was out there in the cold yesterday at work. I'm burning a sick day today. I'm not going in that cold.
Oh man, I got you.
And I'm from Chicago, used to 40 below zero. I came to
you
Memphis
always talk
to
about
get
Chicago
away
when you
from
don't stay in
that.
Chicago. You don't even stay in Chicago anymore.
I've only been in Memphis for 4 years, dude.
But you don't stay in Chicago anymore. Why do you bring up Chicago like Chicago's going to give you some
Because it's been my home for 52 years, and I can't ever forget. Just like you got good food over there in Oklahoma, I got better food, and I got good food in Chicago. Memphis ain't got no good food.
He's also got the windburn stars.
I ain't going to say this. Chicago got a better pizza, but
you ain't even been alive 52 years, K-Mega. I think you got to take the L on this one.
I ain't taking no, bro. Listen, I'm close.
But I'm just saying, though.
Wow, this year I'm going to be in my late.
You can't tell us nothing on that.
I got you by 10 years, K-Mega.
Lord Jesus. Anyway,
Straxman's probably got those scars from like the frostbite from walking in between those buildings in Chicago. Man,
I got the bad knees from that cold weather.
Man, my family lives in Chicago, so when I go there, and I come from Michigan where it's cold, but You go downtown though, you get close to that water in the winter, man. It is like it
That
is
wind chill.
So
Man,
you telling us that Sir
it
X-Man
drops like
got
30 degrees.
got Ren and Stimpy fingers. You know what I'm saying? You know how like they show
That explains the Halo performance.
Let me explain something real quick, Kenny. By the time you get through layering up all the clothes you got from being outside, you take off all them clothes, you feel like light as a feather.
Okay. I got you. So you saying that you packing on weight? That's why people out there they
them clothes make you pack on weight.
Oh, okay.
You should see the heavy gear we gotta wear in the winter.
Anyway,
Centurion. The boots.
Oh yeah, I got a pair of Mickey boots. I got some.
Centurion, what do you think, man? Do you have anything you wanted to touch on this situation with Halo?
So I will definitely say I'm one of those that have not put a whole lot of time into Halo. I feel like a little bit of a fraud, but that's because I play ESO with like a select group of friends of mine, and that game never runs out of anything to do.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I gotta ask you because I have a friend. I have a friend for 30 years, and you know he was the one that introduced me to Xbox. I've told the story a million times, right? But he is now only game that he plays is that, and so his name is Ohio Player 38. Have you ever seen his name ever? Because that's all he plays. That's what I need to know. If not, then that's fine.
I have not personally seen it, but I don't also watch that screen where it pops up because you have your character name and then you have your tag name. And it's based on whatever they're showing. But so the big thing is, at least with Halo came out around the holidays, and I was playing Halo, but ESO also has an event that takes place for the last 2-3 weeks of every year called the New Life Festival, and that's where me and a lot of my friends get together. We actually brought some members of the community in with us, and they started questing with us. And it turned into this great big thing this year where we were just like, man, we need to be playing Halo right now, but you want to go run another dungeon? But that's where I have to laugh. It's good to see that there's people on Twitter definitely keeping their eye on Halo. But we're gonna see a player dip. It's the holidays. People are spending time with their families. They're out doing other things. I mean, there's that the holiday Christmas grind where you have to go out and do everything that you know, because everybody always asks, well, on the week of Christmas, you ready for Christmas? No, I still got a million things to do. Halo though, it's going to be one of those games where people are going to be coming and going, because as we see, like, it's actually interesting. We're bringing up ESO. The New Life Festival literally brought in a lot of people. I mean, you couldn't walk anywhere in that game without bumping into like 20-30 people that were all just like huddled together in like little group areas in the game. And now it's actually starting to die off again because the festival has ended. So a lot of people are going back to other games. And I feel like that's going to be the same thing with Halo. You're going to have events that draw people in, and the events end, and then the people are going to go tackle their backlog or other games, because I mean, like, I feel like I'm drowning in games. I still got to play chorus.
Here.
Oh man, and it's gonna get worse, man. Dude, remember being a gamer back in the day where you literally had to search for something to play? Now you're just trying to basically sit in there playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What am I gonna play tonight? Dude, and like for real, like, I mean,
you're talking early 2000s.
Play Halo.
Early 2000s when you were searching for something to play.
I remember going to GameStop and picking up Blood Weight because that was like the only other game I hadn't bought.
Yeah.
You know, and then returning it like the next day.
No, when the budget was real, you know what I'm saying? No, for real. When the budget was real, and you
the budget was real. And all of a sudden, here comes Xbox in a trench coat. Hey man, you ever heard of this stuff called Game Pass? It's like $15 a month, and I'll give you more games you can play. And it's like, well, wait a minute, I get to play these games for $15 a month. And then it just went from there. Now it's like, man, freaking, dude, you could be hardcore in a game that you have spent $60 in, and all of a sudden your $15 service is like, hey, we put this in here today. Oh man, now I got to play that. No, I'm gonna play this game. I just
Really?
walk to the side and play this.
No, you're right, and you're right.
They
You're
already
right.
did that this month. You know, they dropping a bunch of good games, man. It's
Oh yeah.
yeah. You think you're getting you think there's no you're never going to see daylight in your back.
Mass Effect trilogy. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yeah,
dude.
I have no excuse not to play it now. No excuse.
Dude, the
Oh, you got
trilogy-
no
the
excuse.
trilogy is worth it.
It is so worth it.
That is BioWare when they were BioWare.
You
You know
know,
what? I would say that they were Western RPGs when Western RPGs were probably
That
the
is
best.
absolutely right. I 100% agree with you, right? Like BioWare were gaming gods, in my opinion.
I remember
they could
playing
do no wrong with anything that they dropped. Anything.
Oh, I remember playing KOTOR and enjoying both of those. And then one day I walked into a GameStop and he's all like, "Hey, have you checked out Mass Effect?" I'm like, "I know nothing about that game." "Well, BioWare made it." "All right, sell it to me."
Right.
Yeah, I actually played for anybody who hasn't played Mass Effect yet, because and I know they might look at it and be like, well, it's an old game, maybe it doesn't hold up compared to some of these new games. So I actually stepped away from gaming for like 3-4 years, and it was right at that same time that Mass Effect 2 and 3 came out. So I played the first one, never played the second and third. When the collection came out last year, I sat down with it, and it immediately went into my top 5. Maybe it's my top 3 of all time games. It was the best experience I had single player wise, probably in years. And it's one of those games that even if today, if they have games with some better graphics and things like that, the way that game is built, they just don't make games like that anymore. It's so unique, and I wonder if you would ever see that from AAA games anymore. Like nowadays, it's they got to figure out how to put in like 80 hours of filler, and I think Mega's experiencing one of those right now.
Oh my God.
Some of the filler in Mass Effect.
Watch out now. But you're
Some of the
right.
filler in Mass Effect was way worth it. Like a lot of people don't realize.
Oh my God, yeah.
It didn't feel like filler. That's the thing. All the side missions felt better than like I mean, yeah, they weren't obviously weren't going to last you hours and hours, but they felt like they were better written and thought out than on some main campaigns these days.
Dude, you actually felt emotionally invested with some of them.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like when you're in the third game and what's going down with Thane Krios, you're just like, oh man, no, that ain't cool. I loved Thane. And the first time you meet Thane, he's dropping out of the rafters, executing some people, and this is how you meet this guy, and it's just like, you just killed a couple people. No, I didn't kill anybody. I was paid to kill them. You can blame the guy who paid me for killing them.
Right.
Mass Effect is the game that made Square Enix change how they made Final Fantasy.
Yep.
I would
agree to that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Now, we're talking. The Halo discussion, I guess, is gone, so we'll get on to the topic. But I have to say this, right? Oh no! What you gonna say, Slayer? Did you want to talk about some?
Oh yeah, because I had something very specific that I wanted to say.
Oh no, go ahead.
Because it was good that one bad mother, really put the facts out there. So now I don't have to. And I can just use.
And by the way,
as a
people need to
jumping
play
off
the gunk. As you can see right here, the gunk is enjoyable. It's about an 9-hour experience.
I thought you were so.
I recommend.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, it's fun. But go ahead, Slayer. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and as to prove my point, I feel it's quite simple. The conversations that UK Mega must have read, right?
Oh boy.
To even decide to make this a topic, right?
Oh yeah. You know it.
Will prove my point exactly. And it's this. Most of this is concern trolling. Okay? There's, of course, lots of
I like the way you labeled that. But go ahead, continue.
There's a lot of constructive criticism that's out there about Halo, right? Do not lump that in with what I'm talking about, because once again, listen to what I said from the very beginning. The kinds of conversations and discussions being had on Twitter and social media in general that led K-Mega to decide to discuss this as a topic, right? And what all of us have seen and read in our own accounts, right? Proves this to be true. this is just concern trolling. Okay? Like, a bunch of people who never before had to use the Steam user information and, like, you know, the player counts, never had to use that as a you know, console war arguing talking point ever before. And you see how poor they are at using it because they can't even interpret the information to use their own ends. They can't. They keep failing at it, right? It just goes to show there are many things that Halo needs to work on in multiplayer, single player, you know, the quality of the port, how capable the port is. You know, a lot of people are using that as a jumping off point to say that PlayStation has better PC ports, right? They're misconstruing the facts, right? And they're starting a narrative, right, from misinterpretation of the facts. And I think this is just another level of the console wars, you know, where there's people out there with misinformation that's purposely tuned and presented to you to make you think a certain way. And it just continues on. It's just more console fanboy wars, and that's all.
I have no trouble with any of my ports from Xbox to my PC. When I download it, it renders.
Talk about your 3
everything
screens, sucker.
perfectly.
Talk about your 3
Without a
screens,
problem.
sucker.
It renders everything.
Yeah, talk about your 3
and
screens.
Triple screens. I got the 4 screens.
Talk about your
Oh,
talk about
nice,
your
nice.
4 screens, sucker. Talk about it. Show your
What
PC
the
master
heck?
race.
I'm running a 60 to over 100 frames a second with my Xbox games from the Xbox App Store, downloaded them all. I don't have no problem. And they look beautiful. So what these people are talking about, excuse my French, we on okay, make it sure I can say this. It's bullshit.
Oh no!
I'm done.
Nothing but misinformation out there.
Got
Are some
the
people
facts.
having problems?
You want to
this and
see,
that?
see how good my games look at like coming from the Xbox on
Oh,
PC?
man,
Come
the
over
big-
to my damn house. Come over to my house, and I'll show you how it looks. That means you got a problem with your shit. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, and I gotta add the fact that he's running this on triple screens, multiple screens by
3060
themselves.
Ti, baby. 3060
It doesn't even
Ti.
matter the resolution. Even if you're
I know.
running 3 720p screens, once you add 2 screens, more than one, into the mix, no matter
Yep.
how good the port is even recognized and
renders it.
performs, it makes it a problem. It's more complicated off bat. The complications come flying out the woodwork. I'm not saying the Halo port is perfect. Nothing
Halo is beautiful on this.
but it's beautiful and performs well. Don't believe the hype you're hearing out there.
I played with K Mega. You didn't have a problem with me at all
No,
on PC
no,
when I was
no,
playing with you
no,
guys.
not
It
at
was
all.
smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter. No, that's crazy. I do want to give a shout out to my main man Sonic Echo X. Right, I said his name wrong on next podcast yesterday. My bad. But I do want to give him a big shout out, man, because I was in flux because I knew that there was a couple of Yakuza games that was going to be taken off of Game Pass. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy all the Yakuzas, right? So I did. I bought all the Yakuzas, and then I forgot about like Lost Judgment because they're a spinoff of the Yakuzas because I already had Judgment. So then I was like, damn. But everybody's talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, man, you know, this Xbox sale that they had. Matter of fact, it's still going right now. But Guardians of the Galaxy was there, and then there was Lost Judgment, and I'm like, which one do I get? I don't know. Like, I mean, I got my Xbox cards from family, you know what I'm saying? So they don't know what to buy for me, but they know that I play on Xbox, so they just bought me a whole bunch of cards. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll just go ahead and just buy
Nobody got me no cards.
crazy. Oh man, I bought like about 13 games, right? With as many cards that I got, right?
You racked up, dude.
Oh, I racked up, like, but I was in a conundrum. I was like, man, Lost Judgment to complete for having all the Yakuzas on Xbox because because I have Yakuza games on PlayStation, I have Yakuza games on PC, but I don't have them all together. I want all the collections so I can jump on and play it. Anyway, long story short, you know what I'm saying, Sonic Echo X sit there and hit me up. He says, "Hey, Mega," and he was like, "Hey, man, hold up." And I'm like, "Hold on, wait a minute." And I thought, I don't, sometimes when people say "hold up," I get usually like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill," I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna find you, I know where you stay or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh man, what's going on?"
the hell?
Oh,
Damn,
bro,
that got dark.
oh yeah, no. People usually say some wild shit to me, but you know what I'm saying. Lately, I haven't. Lately, it's been positive. It's not been negative. But then Echo sit there and came up and he was like, "Man, I got you. So thank you so much for hooking me up with Lost Judgment." And so it made my decision easy. So I got Guardians of the Galaxy, and so that's now in my backlog. So I will definitely play
Need to
it.
beat that too.
Yeah, because I want to play it. It was not on my radar, but then it got there. But thank you so much. I definitely wanted to put your name out there, brother. I really appreciate it. Oh no, I got Judgment on the PlayStation. When it first dropped on PlayStation, I picked it up and I played it and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I was like, oh man. And then when I told people that it was, and I told PlayStation fans it was a spinoff, and I said it was coming to Xbox, and then there was PlayStation fans that try to argue me down. No, it's not. And they ain't ever getting Yakuza and all the Yakuza games. And the next thing you know, they're all on So that's something that I'll definitely have to throw in on some shade here a little bit later to be messy in 2022. But let's get in and talk about E3. I'm sad, ladies and gentlemen. I am very sad.
Are we having a moment of silence?
Yeah, I am. And so now I'm gonna go to D on this
it's
one
unfortunate,
first.
isn't it?
Yeah, I want to go to D on this one first. You know what I'm saying? I have to say this point. E3 is changed my whole perspective. If you've followed me ever since I've started doing this YouTube thing, you know what I'm saying, I jumped around. I was, a lot of people know me from, doing the multiplayer with Next Gen, and then, doing stuff with, doing BGST and then doing other stuff. And so like a lot of people consider me some people consider me to be in the console war, like from side bullshit or whatever, even though I've never been in that type of aspect to where I want to disrespect people to a certain way. I will talk shit to you in any way possible form, but I'm not going to be as disrespectful as a lot of people are. But with that being said, though, it's like, for me enjoying the banter, going into it, having fun with it, and then seeing that at the end of the day, it's only childish, and it just makes you look more ignorant than it does make you look more positive into it. Then, I stepped away from that situation. From looking at how I'm doing, my podcast and doing everything else now at this point, you evolve, you change and all of that. But E3 changed all that for me because I still was, I'd never been to E3 before until I got there until 2018. And then I seen what was one of the reasons why I got into gaming and why I love gaming the way that I do. And then also looking at how the console war aspect of what I see on the internet does not apply at E3. It is a whole different universe. It is a whole different ecosystem. You're in there with people that wear all PlayStation gear, but they're sitting there waiting to play Sea of Thieves. I'm sitting here talking to people that's can't wait to play Kojima's game, Death Stranding, but they're ready to get a fake tattoo of Sea of Thieves, or I'm taking a picture with Kratos and the little PlayStation guy, and you're just in a whole different atmosphere of just gaming love. It's not about PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. It is about gaming. You sit there and you talk to some of your favorite devs. You get to meet people that you've never thought that you would meet before, and the brother and sisterhood that you get when you talk to these people, and the love and admiration. And it's no kids there, it's all adults. It changed my whole outlook about everything. And I couldn't wait to get back. I went there 2 years in a row, and now I've been waiting to go back again. And now hearing that E3 2022 is not going to have people there, I'm not going to sit there and go in because I know other people will. So I'm going to let that be said. But I just, for me, it still hurts. And to a point, almost to a fault, because of the fact that this is going to be the second year that it's only going to be a live stream show. I fear that E3 could be at its end to where it's not going to be what it used to be. So I'm going to go to you, D, first on this and get your thoughts on this. What I don't know if you've ever been to E3 before, but give me your thoughts. Give everybody your thoughts about them going this direction, and if anything else that you want to add to it, please do.
I'm not surprised, to be like 100% honest. And at this point, with us being in the year 2022, I can't even say I'm disappointed, because I kind of expected it. Because with things how they are with the pandemic, I remember, or not, I don't think it was around this time. I want to say it was February maybe of 2020. I remember hearing of E3 being the first thing to be canceled, and people were in an uproar, like, why are they canceling E3? It's not a big deal. And then little by little, everything was shutting down. So I'm not surprised with things ramping back up even worse that this is what's taking place. It's just unfortunate because I haven't been to E3. I've wanted to go to E3 ever since they opened it to the public. But this is whatever year this is, second or third year that I couldn't go. So I think that the year after they opened it to the public is when I was like, all right, I'm about to get serious and I'm about to go as soon as I can. And then shit just kind of hit the fan after that. But it's just another unfortunate consequence of, what's just going on with this pandemic. The way that I kind of just see it, it kind of takes me back to school, when, your teacher is talking about, like, all right, y'all, this is going to be on the test, and you're just sitting there waiting for them to teach, but there are mofos in the back of the class that won't shut the hell up. And the teacher's like, I'll just stop talking. It's fine. And everything comes to a screeching halt. And you're just sitting there like, why can't y'all shut the hell up? And you're just sitting there doing what you're supposed to do, but there are just constantly people who are fucking it up for everybody. To me, that is the last 2 years. I'm sitting here, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm making sure I'm taking myself, my family, my community into consideration with my actions and my behaviors, but there are just people that are just like, screw it. And this is a direct consequence. So this is what happens, cause and effect. It's unfortunate, but I'm hoping E3 can get back to how it used to be so I can at least experience it one time. But with the way things are going, of course, the day that E3 was like, yeah, y'all, we got to be virtual. Here comes Jeff Keighley's ass with his tweet talking about some Summerfest is going to come on. Anybody ask you that? Like, why you got to post that right now? You know what I'm saying? No, listen, I'm petty.
Well, I've been muted this whole damn time because I had to say something on that.
I sense pettiness. And I was just like, he ain't had to post that shit today. You know what I'm saying? Because when news happens. When news happens.
Were you surprised though?
I wasn't, but
it was like on time and everything.
But listen though, because when news happens, right? You go to a little magnifying glass on the Twitter. IGN posted, Games Radar is posting it, like everybody, their mother is posting it. Here comes Jeff Keighley's ass about some Summerfest, guys. Summerfest, we're still having it. I'm like, okay, that was unsolicited. You know,
there was no doubt in my mind you weren't gonna have it, but okay.
Yep. Right.
Jack and me. Here he comes, as if on cue. Here he comes.
On cue, and I was like, damn, bro.
Riding a white
that's
horse
how you
everything. Yep.
Like, and then people were like, yeah, Summerfest. I'm like, but you've had it ever since you stopped. Oh, okay, sir. So I don't know. I just sit back and just sip my tea, and I was just like, this sucks because basically it sucks because it's like, damn, I have the means to go if I really want to go, but I can't, and I'm still being very cautious.
That's what all that overtime was for. Shoot.
What overtime? Listen.
That's my overtime I've been
Yeah,
talking
his
about.
overtime. That's what he's talking about. So he's trying to say
overtime,
get
but
that money
listen,
for to go to E3. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
I mean,
Every time he says it's payday, just got paid. That's
Friday night, just like tonight was, bro.
Yeah, Friday night.
Thankfully, I ain't trying to brag. I didn't have to do the overtime. I just got the means. But at the same time, I try not to be in the office longer than I have to, because ever since like mid-December, I'm hearing like a chorus, an orchestra of miscellaneous coughs and wet ass sneezes. Let me tell you something. I'm not here for the bullshit. I'm spraying Lysol in the air. I don't care how y'all feel about it. I don't care if you hear it. I have an air purifier. She hears a cough. She says, "Oh Lord." You damn right. You are You are so correct. I am already, jacked as far as I've had pneumonia so many times. Like, you breathe too heavy, I'm getting sick. So what we're not gonna do. Oh hell no! Y'all breathing, sneezing, not washing your nasty ass hands. No sir.
I'm actually right there with you, because I don't want to feed what's going on in the world, but we had somebody come into my work that did test positive, and he wiped out the entire department.
See?
Like, literally, there's four of us left out of a business of like 15 people. There's like 4 of us left, and we're just trying to hold it down as best we can.
And you gotta hold down the fort all by yourselves now.
That's what I'm saying.
You work of 15 down to 4.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna be all by myself doing the job of 3 or 4 people by myself.
Yep.
They better increase your check by 3 or 4 people. I know that.
They won't do that. They ain't gonna do that. No, son. No, the boss is looking at you like, oh, you want to raise?
They give you these speeches of like, we will overcome this, and we will do what we have to do to overcome. And it's like, man, we ain't trying to win. We're not over here like winning a war or something, man. Like this is crazy.
That man said what? That man said,
you with 20% of the workforce.
I can't. Man.
All right,
I'm telling you.
I got you. All right. No. You fine. Hey, listen. You great. Chipmunk said those sound effects. I had to put them because I felt it. I felt when I see somebody. Listen, I went up there to the liquor store today. And I had to give me some Douce because I haven't sipped on nothing for a while. It's been a minute. My wife, when my wife said, "You know what? You haven't even been sipping on nothing in a minute," I know it's time for me to sip on something.
Talked about that last time I was on the show, so it's been a minute. Yeah, I ain't gonna front on you.
Yeah, because the last time that I did sip on something was the last time, and so now I'm doing it now. So so it has been a minute. And so I went and got me some Douce. Say shout out. You know what? If there's anything that I got to give a big shout out to 100 and 108 was when I went to LA E3, which that's just amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? 100 introduced me to Douce. I was like, what is this? I'm like, no, it ain't better than Crown. Man, I sit and you know how 100 talk. Hey man, this shit good, man. I'm like, all right, well, 100, you off with some bullshit. You drunk already. And he was, man, I sit there and he was like, nah, man, I'm telling you, man, the good shit, man. I said, all right, I got you. And I sit there and I said, whoa. So big shout out because I was like, what? So shout out to them, man, no doubt about it. And hopefully, it will definitely get an opportunity for people that they'll do this because the unity behind it is just, I'm telling you, like if we all meshed up and when you meet the people that you meet and then you go, like, it's a different type of bond. It's a different type of vibe, man. It's amazing. Hold on. Let me read some of these super chats. The super chat works. Thank you guys for showing support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Lady Foxfire, she says, Happy New Year, GRG family. She says, I got to join you all again here real soon. I would love that. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I do. I am planning on doing an all ladies podcast, GRG And so hopefully we can set that up so I can sit there and try to get you, Luca, and as many females as I possibly can to come on and just take over the show, and I'll just shut the hell up and just let y'all talk. But she says, much love and a lot of great games coming out this year. No doubt. We will talk about predictions here a little bit later. And then I got my main man, Hanos, is here. He says, Happy New Year. Y'all looking forward many upcoming games for my Series X. Feeling grateful. God bless. P.S. I asked Phil Spencer for GoldenEye update in FanFest, and wishes answered with achievement leaks. Yes. There has been actually for a week coming out, for just us coming back into the year, there's been a lot of news that's just dropped, and that was just one of them as well that we just heard about. So it's pretty good. So go ahead, Dee. Did you have something else that you want to add?
No, that was it.
Okay.
It's disappointing, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No doubt. All right. So Slayer, did you have something that you want to add on the E3 situation?
Oh, it's funny that the both of y'all two went before me, because K Mega, you put that speech there about E3 and all these things, and I feel exactly the same way. That was what I was hoping to experience. That was part of the reason why I was doing all this overtime, or at least that was what I planned for that money to go towards. I'm the ball out in LA for E3. I've always wanted to go as a gamer. A lot of people are starting to be surprised when they ask me if I've been to E3, and I say, no, I've never been. Twice in a row now, I can't go because of this pandemic. It's unfortunate, and it just goes to what Dee was saying. A couple of bad eggs ruining it for everybody who just can't do what they got to do now. I'm sitting here doing what I'm supposed to do, working my ass off, earning this money. Just got paid. Today is Friday night. I did get paid, and that was the last little bit from my plans, right? Anything else here on out is gravy, I could do whatever I want, and I guess that's going towards a new PC, I guess, instead, It's just unfortunate that things have to be this way because of a couple other people, but to answer the question that you had at the end of the topic there, no, E3 is not going anywhere, because we had this same conversation last time, amongst the gaming community, right? And yeah, some people thought, there's always going to be some people who think E3 is dead. I've been hearing that for 10 plus years. Remember that year when they switched up the format and it was like press only or whatever, or some variation thereof? That was one of the worst E3s, plus or minus 3 or 4 years, right? That was just a bad E3. So no, having it online and making it all industry only and all this other stuff, no, because look at what's his face, Jeff Keighley. He doesn't seem to think that's too good, but he wants it to be spread out, or he just wants to get his own. He's just trying to get his own bag, so he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Wants his bag.
Surprising no one. Right. Surprising no one. As if
he wants his bag, man.
You can't hate on that, but don't hate the player, hate the game. But the game doesn't change like that. It really don't. E3, once this pandemic is finally over one day, hopefully sooner than later, everybody's gonna forget, because nobody seems to remember their history. Nobody seems to learn from history. It's not the first time it's all happened, so ain't gonna be the last, sadly.
No
yeah, folks are pretty damn stupid. Whatever, man.
It is what it is. That's for the next podcast I'm going to start. You know what? The more and more that I keep talking about this new podcast that I'm going to be bringing up, and what it's going to entail, it's going to be a messy podcast, because it's going to be controversial, because we're going to talk about any and everything, but within reason, because I don't want people to fight, but it's going to be passionate. And I know that, I'm listening to Dee, she don't want to get too far with it. I listen to Slayer, he don't want to get too far with it. And so, and that's what I can't wait for, is that to bring something fresh and new to the table, because it's not just going to be about gaming, it's going to be about everything. So, and I'm going to hold back and reserve myself, because you know how I am. I'll talk and I'll kind of go left and veer into giving you what my feelings about certain things. But I want to just keep this about gaming, but I do feel you guys 100% because I understand it. Like I'm frustrated because if it wasn't for people not wanting to get the vaccine, we would probably be in a better place to where we would have E3 this year. But
it's further than that. But like
no,
you said,
it's way further than that, and that's why I don't want to go no further. Yeah, it's just scratching the surface, but I definitely want to get deeper than that. Sir X-Man, I know that you can't wait till I start this new podcast, so you can jump into that as well. But,
oh yeah, because there's a lot this week that I saw that man, I would love.
Man. Lord have mercy!
Oh
my God, boy! I
would love to unload.
I know.
Can't make it. Not a one there. Not a one.
Well, no, there was two. There was two there. But anyway, okay, stop it. We got to show. We got to show. All
right, let me get my E3 thing real quick.
I will let you say it, but I want to hit up what Rain posted. Rain said,
I saw what he said. I know. I was about to
will you stream Lips? You know what? I promise you, Rain, I will stream Lips this year in 2022.
Too much copyright involved. There's too much copyright involved.
No. I will stream.
Why? Rain is drunk.
I will stream. No. I will stream it. I know that there'll be copyrights involved. It's not about the whole money aspect of it. It's about me because I always talk about Lips and I love Lips. And
if you do it, you're gonna have to do it on Twitch because it'll be one live thing, and then after that, you got to tell them it's live. That's it. Once it's there, they're gonna mute all my music.
Right. That's fine. Yeah. So yeah. For the people, when I do it, I'll do it that way, and then they'll
delete it when it's over. Right.
Yeah. So I will damn sure not put it on YouTube, but I will put it on Twitch. I will stream it on Twitch, and then you will see me in action playing Lips, and I guarantee you will sit here and buy you a 360 and buy Lips too, because Lips is that special. I promise you.
Get your pillows ready so you can fall on the floor and laugh.
You gonna be on there and be like, damn, K-Mega singing that shit. Anyway, all right, so go ahead. Sorry, X-Man.
This is my suggestion, what they need to do for E3, after we get through this stuff. They need to do it like the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Let different cities bid for E3.
I love that.
So
Perfect.
It can go to different places every year. The winning city will be announced 2 years before the next E3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get it out of LA. It can't keep staying in LA. It's too expensive in LA, and more people have a harder time getting to LA. Say you put it on East Coast 1 year, then you put it in the center of the country 1 year, where more people can get to see it and experience instead of pretty much the same people every single year that mostly live in Los Angeles. And
that's what
areas.
That's what WWE does with WrestleMania.
Yep.
They move it around.
They
move it around, and they let you know 2 years in advance.
Right. Yeah, just like the Super Bowl and all that. Yeah, I think that would be nice. I think the unfortunate thing though is that E3 is headed up by an organization, but I feel like that organization's kind of lost their hold already. Like that. Like Sony's already left. Nintendo does like these directs that kind of happen throughout the year and they spread out.
The original E3 actually started in Chicago with CES.
Yeah, that was the year when they were in Atlanta.
Yeah, I would love that. My parents are my parents in Chicago. I just go down there and stay with them, and drive.
And you just go to the McCormick Center, which is where they do all the events, and it'll be spread out throughout the whole city. So something like that.
Here's what I think, though. I do think that E3 as we've known it's already, I don't want to say it's dead. I think it's not going to be the way we've known it. What I'm hoping is like what K Mega was talking about, like with the bonding and in the community and all those things. I am hoping that they do find that gaming can figure out a way to somehow recreate that. And I don't know if you're going to get all these corporations to get on the same page because I think Sony's found.
They've done it
I mean,
before.
they could, but then you need to get them all on the same page. And I think you'd have to get Sony and Nintendo and everybody going, oh yeah, let's all bring our best stuff, for this one day of the week. I think the way that it's starting to become is a little bit better for the corporations because they don't have to have all their developers target a single day of the year, which can be. It can cause development issues. It can cause, it's more money, all those other things. I think if they could, schedule their yearly hype thing when they want to, and, for whether it's Microsoft or Sony, not have to worry about what the competition's doing. They control the messaging. That's the problem. It's like everything's become very, I think from a business standpoint, it's hard to imagine that they probably see now that they don't need it in the old way. I want it to come back. We no longer have the moments where you stand in line. I mean, I'm never going to do a midnight launch again. We don't have that. We don't have like the arcades, the days of that, going up to the, bowling out with your friends and, playing the arcade. Like we've lost a lot of the social stuff in gaming. And I was looking forward, like, K-Mac, you're talking about, I've never been, now that I'm part of like the Xbox era, I was thinking, oh, this would be cool to kind of get to meet, meet all these people that we go on the podcast with. And,
you throw in the bid for the location, right? You can get better bids, better locations from cities bidding for it. Oh, we can do it for this and save you money and give you all this, and this.
No, I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
And it'll be more.
I say Vegas
and the developers
would be the best.
save money. Vegas would be smooth too.
I say Vegas would be amazing because it's an adult-oriented place. No, man.
Can you imagine the stories that would come out of
the Vegas?
Oh God,
they would not do Vegas. They have developers.
Do Vegas.
God.
Can
you imagine the developer stories? You're going to get people caught in furry.
There's stories that I can tell. There's stories that I can tell just in LA. So,
dude, Vegas would probably give them a deal for that. Hey, we got everybody in the mood to play some games. Do you want to put the slots right outside the door?
Oh my God, it would be great. And then of course other extracurricular activities that's out there in Vegas. I mean, listen, hold on. Now
they make personal slot machines with Mario.
Could you imagine seeing the slot machine rack and then you'd have the God of War slot machine rack?
Right? Vegas would be amazing. To have it to come to Texas because I'm in Oklahoma. That's only a 3-hour drive for me. I would love it to New York. I would love to see that to go to a big city like Atlanta,
even Detroit, Atlanta,
Florida,
come through Atlanta, come through.
Come on through like that. There's so much opportunity. Like, see, south and south, you know what I'm saying? South, what is it? South and southwest?
Southwest, yeah.
South and southwest. That's where they get so much traction because they're all over the place.
It's in Portland, right? That's in Portland, ain't it?
Well, no, they go all over the place. There's one in Texas. There's one in LA. There's one in New York. They're all over the place. So to me, like, if you would do the same thing with Comic-Con and with E3 and put them in different venues throughout the country, every year, like Chicago, Michigan's a big enough city to you could throw E3 at. Like, it would be amazing. Like,
Detroit would be huge.
I know little old Oklahoma would not ever get an E3, but Texas is just right down the street. I would love it. I would be there immediately.
Texas and all I gotta do is just technology drive there. Right. And so
me and Kid Man can go down there and get some big giant 32
ounce steaks.
Bro,
we get them big old steaks down there out there. Oh my God, boy, I'm with it. Like, and
meet the homie New Legal and Techno Flash and all of them guys down there.
I would say if it's going to be in Vegas, nobody's camera is going to be turned on. Your phone's on.
Oh no, if it's in Vegas, no cameras is on.
It stays in Vegas.
Yeah, but there's one thing I want to talk about with E3 that needs to come back, or actually needs to become a trend with all these, gaming shows, GDC, what have you, right? And I remember they did this the spring or late winter after the release of the 360. I think this was like in February or so, and they had a live stream. And I think you even watched that live stream on the 360. right? Because this is just before
you
YouTube,
could.
right?
Yeah.
And that was when they released the demo for Fight Night 3, I think it was.
Fight Night Round 3, yeah.
Round 3. I still have that demo. I never erased it from all this time. And yo, they did a quick, demo of the game. It looked hot. It looked crazy dope. And then the next thing they said, hey, it's on the Xbox Live Marketplace right now to go and try. The same version that they demoed, it's the same version that's up for download. And at E3, why is this not a thing? 15 years ago, this happened, folks.
I can see that happening. Yeah, like especially with streaming, they could now control that, right? Where they don't even have to give you the code. They can just go, "Hey, this is going to be available for the, after the show, to be available for the next few days."
Yep.
Right. I think that's going to happen, and there will be some positive, neat things. I think that you're going to see over the next few years. Companies are going to get creative, figure out ways to generate excitement.
Yeah, they got to start. Yeah.
They have more flexibility.
Bring it up. Yep.
But the thing that K Maga was talking about, where you everybody comes down, that kind of thing, goes, meets that. Where you get the Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo fans like all going the same place. I don't know, like I wouldn't. I don't have that much faith that E3 is going to be the thing that brings it back. I think there's so much backlash against the organization from the media right now, and then. But I do hope they figure out.
But it is the media.
It's the location.
But it also is the media themselves that don't want to deal with the public.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
They don't want to deal with us.
They don't want to deal with us, right? And that's the problem, right? Like that's why if E3 wants to, I feel, to succeed, to go even to be bigger than what it even is in LA, then go to different venues because I guarantee you that there will, even if at the point that if let's say that there's not a big audience or media audience in Atlanta or in Texas or in Kansas or in Michigan or whatever, it will be because you're bringing the biggest gaming venue to that state, and there will be people that will definitely jump aboard,
and no states will make it a party.
You will get away from that crummy ass group of people that are only about, I want to just stick with these certain people group. And what you do is you make a nationwide gaming mecca instead of just an LA mecca. Yeah, and that to me, you know what I'm saying? Because E3 is bigger than any and everything. Like I know that there was people that was trying to bring up Gamescom. Gamescom has more people, yes, but Gamescom does not generate the same type of level of intrigue that E3. E3 is the mecca of gaming, and that and in order to make it a U.S. dominant mecca worldwide, do it like that, spread it out, and then. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to, and I was reading something from my boy Generations. He made a point and so talking about. Let me go to it because he just said it and I saw it. Hold on, let me keep going down.
That Far
I think
Cry
I
we're
missed
looking
it.
at.
Yeah, that's Far Cry 6.
That shit look cool.
Far Cry 6 is great. And big shout out to my boy Sleepy boy. Sleepy Goblin. Man, thank you for the hookup. Because I was almost done with the series, and then I was like, no, I'm back in wholeheartedly. But Future Generations made this point about saying that it doesn't matter because even if you do have the vaccine, you can still get COVID. Yes, I know that personally.
But you won't die.
Me and my wife got COVID just this week, just this past week.
I like how he leaves that out.
Just this past week.
What the fuck?
Just this past week. Because I don't know if I've said this or not, but I'll just put it out there. My son and my daughter, they believe the bullshit of
they got you.
Oh. Yeah. And so for Christmas, we caught it. And so me and my wife caught it. But I got my booster. I got this. It was nothing but more than a cold. And now it's at the end of its stages. And so my wife will probably be at the end of her stages. But remember, again, my wife was, and if people who's paid attention to GRG, my wife was, she survived cancer. You know what I'm saying? So, and so
Yeah,
again,
that makes it less. Yeah.
So she's a little bit. So it's sticking with her a little bit longer. But the point of the matter is
Lord
with
have
that is that
mercy.
while you making that point generations, it's because of people that are, and this is not a disrespect in a sense of calling you guys ignorant, but it is ignorance because we have been, listen, if you go back and you look at how many vaccinations we get when we are babies, and listen, when we were babies, it's up to 72, 73 vaccinations that we get.
Even the chicken pox now, which our parents used to purposely make us
Yes.
get with.
Kids get
Yes.
vaccinations all the way up to the age of
Yes.
15. All the way up until the age of 15.
We have had up to 73
If I can-
vaccinations when you're born. Go ahead, please, Central.
No, I saw that comment, and it goes beyond vaccinating. It also goes beyond the responsibility you have. If you're sick, it doesn't matter if it's the chance of a lifetime to go to E3 and you've been saving up for 2 years. You're done. You're not going to E3. You should not show up at E3 sick. You know,
That shit.
a good community member right now, UK Dazarus. I keep up with them. He came out and said that at his job there was somebody that went in and out of the building for 7 days, knowing they had the virus, and they hit it.
Right.
And it goes. That's where it's
And
like we're not talking the vaccine. It's basically taking the responsibility that you should have as an adult. Like don't stand shoulder to shoulder to people. I still get offended when somebody gets up in my I don't like people in my personal space. Period. I love social distancing because I can tell somebody, can you please step back from me? I don't want to smell what you ate for lunch.
Thank you.
So Kim, I don't want to I just in the risk of hijacking your show, but I do want to just say something to just to educate future generations, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do know people that are part of the hospital system, and this isn't just one or two people saying this. It's like
it's a lot of people.
99% of the people.
I got family that are pharmacists or that are part of the vaccine process. On top of knowing people within, there's people that's been on the show that has been a part of working on the vaccine themselves. So go ahead.
Just going because I'm a data and analytics guy. That's what I do when I'm working and manage people and that stuff. And from the data is and this is from people that are there, and it's supported in lots of places. More than 99% of the people that have to stay overnight, they go put on ventilators, they're unvaccinated. Vaccines don't stop you from getting it; they stop you from being put on the ventilator and dying. And I actually know two people. They're not directly related to me. My daughter, her boyfriend, stepdad, and then my ex, her fiance's brother. They both just passed away. One was 42, one was 50.
My age. Wow.
From the stuff just in the last couple of weeks. So, the stuff's real. No, it doesn't. The vaccines they're not perfect. They're not going to stop you from getting it, but they're just going to stop you from dying most probably. Right. And if you're not filling up if the hospitals weren't filled up with people on ventilators and some people dying, and it's like, I get the percentages seem really, really low, but if it's super contagious, then a teeny tiny percentage of, millions of people is going to equal a lot. And that's why we're closing shit down. So that's all I got to say. Just some stats, some data on that. And I get people like to keep little anecdotes here and there. I get it. Like percentage wise, probably you're not going to die. But the thing is when everybody has that attitude, that's why we're in the situation.
That's why we're in this situation. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm only going to make this one point, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. But I just want to say this, future generations, is that you're talking just like my son did to me, right? Before I caught it. And then before me and my wife caught it.
From him.
Now I haven't heard from him or my daughter. Right. And it's funny because, again, the only person I'm really caring about is my mother, because my mother is is got diabetes and she's gone through a lot. Like 2021 has been a really crazy rough year for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been rough. Like, I've always told certain people, right? Like, but the point of the matter is this, right? Like, the reason why I haven't heard from them is because they have that same type of ideology like you do, future generations. And the point that you're fighting the wrong fight, right? Like, it's like if you did have a doubt about the vaccine, cool, right? That's all right. But there are so many other battles that needs to be won, like voters' rights, all these other things that's out there that's right in your face.
Energy for that.
Your energy should be for, but you want to fight a vaccine that you already had in your body. When you came out the womb of your mother, you already got tons of them in you. So if you was afraid of the jab, if you're afraid of the jab now, why was you not afraid of the jab but you didn't know it? And that, to me, is the ignorance that I keep trying to express to other people. I am not trying to fight with you guys about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me and Crispy go back and forth. Well, I caught it, and I got immune. No, you're not immune.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And the problem of why we don't have E3 is because there's people out there that feel like, well, I'm immune. You got it. My shit is good. You're just one of the lucky ones. But you're a spreader. And this is why when we can't, future generations, if you was deciding that you want to go to E3, me and you can collaborate and meet up because of this reason. And that, to me, it goes to the point of having self-respect for your other fellow man or woman. Like, I will never try to harm a person, even if I know them or not, if I knew that I had a different type of outlook about something. And that is why I look at this in such a different way. As like, damn, how can you be so self-righteous on trying to say, well, I'm not going to take this, but yet I still want to do everything and anything that I want to without trying to have
and not see the hypocrisy in your own words and actions at the same time.
Or without having any sacrifice, right? Like a true alpha, a true king or queen will know that if I'm going to stand on this hill, then if I'm going to die on it, then I might have to have some sacrifice. But there's people out here that want to act ignorant and not want to have any of the sacrifices because of what they believe in. So that's my whole point on it. So
it's twofold. I feel it is
twofold.
Twofold. I think it's no accountability. That goes for a lot of things.
Well, the CDC,
that goes for a lot of things in life.
The CDC is a fuck up because they keep telling mixed messages to people. Yep. And it's kind of like how Xbox
gives ammo to these people who want.
It's kind of like how Xbox last gen would say so many different things, and then the people that hate Xbox can use it as ammo. The CDC has said so many stupid things that people that are against it are using the same type of energy. And to me, it's only just flawed all around because I just want everybody to be alive and safe and well and
Mega. Where did you get the gameplay for the X-Men, dude?
For the 360, baby. For the 360.
I knew you threw some 360 up in there, baby.
That's 360 gameplay. Let's go.
So hype.
That was my game.
Oh, hell yeah. That's 360 gameplay. All right, so let's get on to the next topic, man. I you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So now, I will get to the PlayStation VR, but I definitely got to talk about Square Enix because I think that's one of we'll talk about the eye herpes here in a little bit. But we will talk about Square Enix, right? And I want to know, and this is, I'm going to shut up for the most of this topic because I got to hear it from you guys, how you feel about this. Square Enix, the rumor from some prominent people out there that's saying that, look, Sony is going to pretty much be the face of the Final Fantasy franchise going forward this generation. How do you feel that this is true? Because it's still a rumor. It's not actual fact. And there's also a Final Fantasy that's going to be coming on Xbox this year, which is the Shadow of Paradise, I think that it's called. But it's a Final Fantasy Origins type of game, whatever. But it's coming out this year. But do you feel that it is right for Square Enix to make this move if this rumor is true, coming from somebody who's credible in the gaming space, saying that Final Fantasy is most likely going to be caught up under these stipulations, where it's most likely going to just be on PlayStation for the majority of this generation. So I'll start with you, Centurion. Do you like this, or do you think that this is false? Where are you at on this whole situation going forward?
Man, that's a really good question where I'm at on this situation. Do I agree with the situation? No. See, I'm from a business standpoint of I want everybody's money. So when you basically limit yourself on what platform you put your product on, you're actually saying no to money. So that just isn't in my DNA. I want everybody's money, and I would want to put my product anywhere and everywhere I could get it. But I've also heard, or at least from the stuff I've read and the stuff I've watched, that Square Enix is not as in good standing with technology as people would probably want them to. Now, when it comes to at least we'll say Final Fantasy 14, the online debacle, they've actually had to stop selling that game because they don't have enough servers and hardware to basically to support the player base that they already have.
Number one MMO. That makes no sense.
And exactly. And basically, it just seems that if they were to open the floodgates and get that game on Xbox, oh my God, we just know how multiplayer hungry the Xbox fan base truly is. And that brings me into the debate of maybe PlayStation is throwing an god-awful amount of money, because let's just face the facts. There is not much multiplayer-wise multiplayer exclusivity on the PlayStation side. Most of it is, Call of Duty and other third-party games that you can play anywhere else. They don't have anything really specific to the platform other than Final Fantasy 14, which is some reason why they would probably throw a real big chunk of change down on trying to keep that game locked down. Well, yeah. Is Phantasy Star finally on PlayStation?
Finally get it over there yet?
Yeah.
Is it over there yet?
No.
It's not over there. It's still not there.
Damn, that's still an exclusive to
Microsoft. Yeah. Final Fantasy still,
and PC.
So that could be another reason why. That could be another reason why, because Phantasy Star is still on Xbox.
Over here. It is huge.
But definitely, I love the other argument that I saw especially when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake, is we already saw Microsoft came in, purchased Bethesda, and locked down Bethesda, Obsidian. They locked down a good portion of RPG style games from PlayStation. So at this point, PlayStation is like grabbing onto whatever they can when it comes to an RPG style game. And that's where I think they keep throwing money down on the table year after year, trying to keep Final Fantasy over on their platform, just because of the lack of content that they're going to have when it comes to RPG style games. But then there's also the other arguments of it being, a Japanese developer with a Japanese hardware manufacturer in PlayStation. And obviously in their culture, they look out for each other. That's just how they do it. There's a lot of different arguments that can be made on why this is happening. I wouldn't say I agree with it, but definitely if the hardware things turn out to be true, I could see why Square Enix isn't exactly hopping on the bandwagon, because they can't even spool up to get more servers for Final Fantasy 14.
Hey, if this happens, if Square Enix does go to Sony, there won't be a Tomb Raider on Xbox because they own Tomb Raider.
No, I think that's going to be separate. The East and the West for Square is different. In fact, there's actually a chance that I'll wait my turn. But
I was just saying on that. That's all.
Go ahead.
Well, here's something to throw out there. If Microsoft ends up with Crystal Dynamics later on in life, like all the myths and rumors talk about, Square Enix actually squeeze out a Tomb Raider without Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah. Well, I think they would probably sell the IP if they sold Crystal Dynamics. That's just my guess. But because if they wanted to continue to make games off that IP and not take advantage of the value of it, because I think it would sell for a lot of money, then there would be no reason to sell Crystal Dynamics at that point. And there probably doesn't. Oh, go ahead.
Let me stop 1 second. And future generations, this is the only time that I'm going to say anything else about this whole situation. I will be talking on this new podcast. This is going to be one of the topics that we'll be bringing up. But I will say,
like somebody thinks the Earth is flat. Jeez.
Right. But this is what I'm going to say to you about that. Right? You're talking about government control of people. Let me just explain this to you. There are people that are being selfish, and they don't want to, and they want to try to hold on to some bullshit conspiracies. This is why you got the government. Because listen, money talks, bullshit walks. I told my son the same thing. I said, watch. I said, and I told them that 7 months before it even happened. I said, this is what's going to happen. When you guys go out here and start talking about, oh, I'm not getting the jab, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, your company is going to say, look, I'm not going to get sued because of your thought process. I'm not going to sit here and have somebody die on my watch and me lose my job because of your whatever reason that you're over here trying to hold on to it, right? And the whole point of the matter is that it is about money. And these companies was like, listen, you either get it or you won't. And then you got people that's over here want to cry and say, well, that's not my American right. You're right. The company is the one that hired you. It's their right to make the decisions or whatever. That's got nothing to do with the Constitution or anything else. That company has the right, and they're not in the business to wanting to be sued because they got somebody that's going to tell them, well, I'm not getting this because I'm an American and this is my right. You can step your happy ass out this job, or you know what I'm saying, out this job quickly, or you can be held liable. So this is what I'm going to ask you, and I'm not saying anything else about it because this is a gaming podcast, Generations.
He's so ready to start this new show.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to start this new podcast. But this is the fact. I guarantee you, your whole thought process will change, and so will a whole bunch of other people. When the people that, if they can track where they got contracted from getting COVID from, and then those people can sue them. Watch how that shit change. Money talks, bullshit walk. Stop trying to come on this crazy ass ideology that what you're trying to stand for is equality and this and this. Listen, there were people that stood in line back in the 40s and 50s that was quick to want to get the polio vaccine. There was people that was there was people that was quick to say when they found out that there was a vaccine for smallpox, they were all about that. You are listening to the wrong people because the people that you're listening to are vaccinated and they're lying to you. Stop it. Stop listening. Stop trying to find shit that is not real. And when it's right there in your face, when there's other things available that you need to be paying attention to. The vaccine shit is not your enemy.
So I just want to say, if people want to be up in arms over the vaccine and what could be in it, then I better not see somebody at a fast food restaurant ever.
Thank you.
Because there is more weird ass chemicals in fast food. Oh. Like Subway was caught putting a chemical in the bread that is found in yoga mats. Does anybody even know why the hell that's there?
No more Subway for me.
Listen.
They don't do it now. They don't do it now. But also, Subway's bread does not meet the FDA standard for bread because it contains too much sugar.
How many times have we seen that people keep telling you, man, don't eat at McDonald's. McDonald's is not doing this. Don't eat at Taco Bell. Don't eat at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hormones, this, blah, 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 blah. But people still do it. And then at the end of the day, when then they get caught and then they got to change. There's not people that are saying, oh, well, I got duped. No, what you do is that you stay away from it or you do this. This situation here is just is ridiculous. You are willing to put people that are in the medical field and the people that I know, family members that I know, and other people and friends that I know, they are overly stressed. They are not here to harm anybody. They are here to want to help people survive.
Got something on that topic real quick, K-Maker. If you don't want to, I'm sorry, if you don't want to get the vaccine and you get sick, you have your insurance pay for it, or you pay for your medical. Right now, if you had a vaccine, you get sick, the government takes care of it. You ain't got to pay a bill. But if you get sick because you didn't take it, you should pay the medical bill for that.
Right. Like, I mean, my son, he listened to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is vaccinated. God. And people keep sitting there thinking that he's not. He's lying to you. Dr. Oz is fucking vaccinated. All the people at Fox News are vaccinated. Stop fucking listening to that bullshit.
Even if he wasn't,
Trump got vaccinated. Right. So if you and he's trying to tell people, look, it's cool to get vaccinated, and he gets booed. Stop. Yeah, my last point. I'm gonna get back to the gaming. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I love everybody.
He's not gonna listen to logic. That's
no, he's not. And it hurts my heart because I love everyone. But come on.
He just said he said it's between him and his doctor, and then I said, well, then ask your doctor, because I'm guessing 99% of the doctors are going to tell you the same thing. And he said, well, they don't know. So he doesn't
right. My son
gonna get it. I think this show gonna get in trouble on YouTube.
No. I told my son the same thing. I'm like, well, talk to your doctor. He says, well, my doctor tells me I should get vaccinated. Then why are you even arguing with me with? Well, I just don't want to do it. And so then you want to trust a deworming horse pill? So you would rather put a worm pill from a horse in your body instead of saying,
I'm done with
you. Let's get back to games.
One of my friends, real quick, she's a nurse, right? And she says she got nurses in the hospital that don't want to get vaccinated. But when the nurses are in the hospital, she's telling people to get vaccinated, the ones that ain't vaccinated. I'm like, what? How you gonna tell somebody not to get vaccinated and you ain't even vaccinated and you're a nurse?
Right. Well, you know what? You know what, other Zinc? I do too. I got family, first cousins that's in pharmaceuticals that sit there and make hundreds of $1,000s a year.
And nurses and doctors in my family.
You know what I'm saying? There's nurses and doctors in my family. You know what I'm saying? I know this. I know what's going on. And I understand that it could be that if you're scared about it, cool. But the one thing to me is that if you ain't willing to sacrifice the time to stay away from people until at least this gets dissipating. Until at least this herd unity, as y'all call it or whatever, comes in effect, then what are you doing but only just being selfish and trying to tell me, well, I'd rather kill my neighbor instead of me sitting here being a good Samaritan. That to me is disgusting.
I'd rather believe in lies I know are lies just because I'm scared.
Yeah, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
and they argue against it. That's why they get mad when you
hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. I just want to put this here, and then we can get back to the game because I've listened to everybody's opinion.
Yes,
this is just solidified why staying in the house and doing whatever. It is like you said, when people are being selfish, and that is their prerogative to be selfish, but you're not free from consequences. Right. If you truly think this is something with the government, feel free to take horse pills, feel free to drink bleach, stay the absolute fuck away from me.
Yeah, girl.
And when all this shit is said and done, if the consequences do hit, okay, bitch, I'm gonna send you some flowers. But in the interim, I'm not playing with this shit. It is contagious. Believe what you want to believe.
It is.
There.
I cry crocodile tears for
over there.
I don't care. That's all there is to it.
Right.
Don't let me say what I really want to say.
Right. And that's all there is to it. Right. I can't. Right. The government cannot tax a dead body. The government is not giving you shit for free. They gave out thousands of dollars. The government likes to get money, not give. You cannot tax the people, the 800,000 people that have died. You can't tax them. So I'm pretty sure in the Middle Ages, during the Black fucking Plague, if there was a vaccine or some means to not die from eating rat shit, they'd take it. But that's all there is to it. Do what you want, believe what you want to believe. The science is consistent. And that's that on that. Next fucking topic.
Yeah, next topic. Next topic. We're done.
Next. Man, I did not think about we'd be talking about this. This is a great podcast because, like,
bro,
this is like straight games, never deviate from games.
Yeah. I mean, like,
think about it. This does relate to games, dude, because more of our gaming friends are dying.
Oh yeah,
right.
So my wife has asthma. My father has COPD. Mm-hmm. I mentally had to be like, I'm gonna do it just because I'm not gonna play the game of, well, your family member would have been fine if you would have got a vaccine, but you didn't. It's like a risk either way, but there's death on one side of the risk and the other. I just didn't want to do that. And then what really hit home for me was Lord Dizzy. That hit home for me. Yeah. And I will say it right now, Lord Dizzy was one of the reasons why I was like, what, I'm going to go get it done, because if I can help prevent that from happening to anybody else, I'm going to do my part.
Finally made it, and it was this trash virus that did it on top of that, man.
Right. As I'm listening to my boy Generations, and he says, something about conspiracy. We want to say when we don't have answers, we want to say it's conspiracy theories to those. Y'all don't have any answers for nothing. So what the fuck do you got? Nothing but conspiracy theories. That's why we say it. Listen. I understand.
That's why I said what I said. They sound like people who believe the earth is flat.
Precious.
I get it that you don't want to get it.
Next topic.
No, I get it.
No. I'm putting my foot down. Next fucking topic. I'm so fucking tired.
Damn, okay.
I got it.
It's not you. It's not you.
It's not.
I'm tired. I'm so fucking frustrated. It has been 20 months.
Die because of the ignorance. It doesn't make no damn sense.
I can't go on fucking vacation. I can't go to brunch and get my mimosas because y'all want to fuck me up.
No fucking cantaloupe. No, bro.
All right. Next topic. Okay, so E3 is. I hope to God that it's not dead, but I do agree with what Sir X-Man said. Is that definitely what needs to be happening? Is that they need to spread it out. And I'm sure that my boy Megatron and others out there would agree that, even if people have a problem with LA's
Atlanta's only 6 hours away. I'd be gone, boy.
LA stipulations. There would be other stipulations out there that would be a lot less. But that would be a lot less lenient. But the point of the matter is that I think overall, even if there wasn't a pandemic out there, that they should spread out E3 nationwide, and that's something that I think that would benefit everybody overall, regardless of it. So anyway, all right. So let's move on to the next topic. Lord have mercy. Whoops. All right.
So we were on Final Fantasy in case anybody forgot.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So Final Fantasy. Yeah, we were talking about Final Fantasy. Okay. So. Who was the last person that talked about that? I'm sorry, that was on me. My emotions ran high just like everybody else on that because I'm frustrated on it. I'm frustrated. Like, come on, guys. Okay, so D, go ahead. Tell me about what you think about the situation with Square Enix, and do you think that that PlayStation is going to have the stronghold when it comes to the Final Fantasy franchise, and do you feel that is fair for the gamers? Or because I have seen gamers come out and say, look, what's good for the goose, what's good for the gander. You know what I'm saying? Xbox bought the majority of some of the best Western RPGs. So why is it that PlayStation couldn't lock down Final Fantasy, which is probably the most dominant and strongest JRPG out there?
This is not a franchise that I really keep tabs on, to be honest. I keep my ear to what's going on with stuff that I'm not even like interested, not with malice, just it's just on my radar. I I feel some kind of way as somebody who is a multi-system kind of person. I'm the kind of person where if the game is not on my system of choice, I'm just going to acquire the system that it's on. But I'm very in tune and aware with the fact that not everybody has that ability or wants to do that, even if they do have the means to do so. What stuck out to me was the fact that it was kind of unsolicited, that they were just like, hey, just so you guys know, we're not, doing this on anything besides PlayStation and PC, which I felt was kind of, I don't know, it's just weird to kind of have that statement out of nowhere. So I don't know if it's unfair to gamers. I'm not sure if Final Fantasy has been on Xbox consistently previously. If it has, then that kind of sucks if you've had a system where it was kind of a third-party game and now all of a sudden it's not. But I don't know. Square Enix is kind of doing some weird things. It's had some hits and it's had some big misses, especially in the last 2 years, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, if this is going to be a partnership going forward. I'm not saying it should be acquired, because, it is acquiring season. Everybody's, hullabaloo about acquiring, who's buying this and who can outbuy that person. As long as they don't do it where you're missing certain features from the game because of your console preference, if it does go multi-plat, that I would say is unfair, which Ubisoft has done in the past, and I'm still mad about it. As long as it's like a full and complete game, if it's on one platform, it's on one platform. But I feel like people kind of have a distinct line in the sand of like, okay, whatever, I'll just get a PlayStation or get it on my PlayStation or PC, or they're pissed off and they're just like, screw it, I don't want it anyway. And I'm not sure that'll hurt them in the long run or not. But like was previously stated, I would want all the money possible if I can afford it as far as distribution. But this could just be, a sign or a show of, hey, we're collaborating exclusively together. So only time will tell, because every other week is something. And it's just like, didn't see that coming. So we'll see. But, Final Fantasy is a really big franchise. It's going on number 16, I think. I could be wrong.
16.
I don't know.
16.
Which one?
16.
16? All right. Oh, wow.
16, yeah.
So it has some offshoots, so that'll be interesting to see what they do and going from there.
Been around since Nintendo too, so
yeah,
for
almost 40 years.
Final Fantasy's been around since Nintendo, so yeah.
Yeah.
They've been around since almost 40. Yeah, they're almost approaching 40 years. So yeah,
that's crazy.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all right, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and go to you, Sir X-Man. Your thoughts about this situation? Like, I mean, it's still a rumor. It's not actually.
I love Final Fantasies. If I've got to get a PlayStation or play it on PC, I'll play it there. But as long as Square Enix does not mess with my Tomb Raider, that's the only main thing I worry about. As long as my Tomb Raider still comes out.
I don't think it's going to go there.
I've played every Tomb Raider that's ever been made, including the one that was only on PC, Lost Artifacts. I cannot. If I die, I want to be able to at least play the last Tomb Raider before I die. That's my niche of all time in life. I went and bought a PlayStation 1 just for Tomb Raider.
That's a lot of that game. I remember that.
So that's the only thing I care about. Wherever Final Fantasy goes, it goes. It's the name of the game. You just got to go where it's at. I don't have no malice about it or anything. But if my saying is, I don't think they're going to do it because that's too much of a money loss. They made too much on Xbox with the Final Fantasy 14. The minute that game came out, I saw my friends list just lit up with Final Fantasy 14. It's not going anywhere. They can't afford it. Square Enix needs that money.
I think they got the money. They just got it up front.
They don't want to. But they don't want to lose that money though. They don't want to lose their money, Kyle. They don't. I'm done.
Yeah, no,
I'm quick to the point.
No. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? And I got hit up. I knew I was going to get hit up by Addict. Addict said he said I was sorry. He said he said he got, because I know that it's bad weather out there where y'all at, and so he said I got caught in traffic for 3 hours, and he said his phone has been almost dead. So.
Ooh, Lord, well, I pray for you, bro, and I hope everything is okay, man.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So shout out to Addict. Yeah, so shout out to Addict. It's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Totally understand it. It is what it is.
Stay warm, bro.
Yeah. Stay warm. Stay warm. So, but you know, he hit me up. I knew he wasn't gonna top out on me or anything like that. I knew that he was gonna hit me up and let me know. So, but anyway, go ahead. Did you have anything else that you wanted to finish up with, Sir X-Man?
No, it's just that did you guys get all the Tomb Raiders they gave away last week in the Epic Store for free for the PC? They gave away all three of the new Tomb Raiders. You got that?
Yeah, well, I already got the Tomb Raiders. I already had them. So you know, so it wasn't a thing to me where I need to get them on the PC.
Yeah, but they were in the Epic Store. They were free games, right? Dude. I didn't
snag them. Because for me, it was like I've been through them. I played them all. I did the DLC. But for people who haven't played it, I do encourage them, if they have a PC,
anywhere you can and play them. Yeah, play all of them. They're worth it. Okay, that's it.
All right, good. All right, so Slayer, what about you, man? What's your thoughts about this whole situation with Sony and Square Enix, man? I mean, of course they have a strong relationship. It goes back for a really long time. I mean, of course, Final Fantasy VII, all that. But if they hold on to the Final Fantasy franchise, even if it's 2 to 3 years, how does that make you feel? I mean, does that make you feel like that it's a fair negotiation, or is it something where it's like, well, it is what it is? I just want to get your thoughts about it.
Well, we don't even know if this rumor is true,
right?
But the thing is, everybody's reacting to it like it is because it just, God damn it, that's Sony and a lot of these Japanese publishers, Square being one of the top names, just are. This is Sony's MO from when they first started bought developers like Psygnosis. They buy their way in and they buy their way to success at times, okay? Not saying they can't develop their own and build stuff in-house and that they haven't done that in the past. They have and will continue in the future, obviously. But to keep whatever controller advantage they have, they spend money on exclusivity. That's a common tactic they use all the time. So everybody's going off this like it's real, just because it smells like a thing that Sony and Square would do, right? And this is just another thing that myself and Bloody, we talk about all the time. This default PlayStation and PC exclusive, like they go out their way not to support Xbox, right? But they already have the PC version, so 99% of that work is done right there, right? Especially when these games are built on an Unreal Engine and things like that, right? It's like normally just a Switch, as long as your code compiles with no problems and fits with the memory bandwidth of the consoles already. That's just a flip of the switch, particularly in Unreal Engine, It just, from no matter how you look at it, it's just complete sus. But we don't even know if it's true, right? But then it's like what happened with this whole dev mode support, right? With the Xbox, and a lot of people are losing access, and then people started thinking because of the GoldenEye rumor, right, with the achievements, right? Conspiracy theory all of a sudden appears that, maybe it was a part of the deal with Nintendo to get GoldenEye, that, Nintendo wanted, the emulation to stop on the Xbox, right? Now, as conspiracy theory laden as that was, because it turned out it was just a technical issue on Microsoft end, and, certain people got banned for no good reason, and they're going to fix it, right? But once again, there's something that smelled 90% right, or accurate, or something that would happen, until you think, why would Microsoft take the L that's going to come from that just to get a 360 game finally published from 2 generations back that they had completed already and just didn't release, right? That was the failure in that. But it just goes to show how real it smelled to hear this kind of news. Like, so first off, they're sus like that off bat. But it's what Centurion said from the very beginning. Like, I know if it were me, I would try to have my games on every platform. Every platform. Why the hell Final Fantasy stuck behind this console and possibly PC later? Like, I understand you put it on console first and then PC later because you don't want to work on all those versions all at once, and the PC comes later or whatever. Or even if it's PlayStation first for whatever amount of time. But the fact that you're going out of your way to keep even that information obfuscated from us, right? And it's like, and the last thing I'll say, it's like my reaction to when all those leaks came out from Sony and we saw the contracts that they had with these gaming publishers and stuff about, the contract was, it can't come to Xbox for this amount of time and this and that. A lot of stuff to keep the competition down, right? But we never had evidence until now. But what did it really change? We already had assumed that stuff anyway, and it turned out to be true. This is just another example of that. It may or may not be true, but it's exactly the sort of slimy thing they would do anyway. So no skin off of my back. I already don't think that highly of them when it comes to that kind of thing. It just goes to show.
Gotcha. All right. Okay.
I make too much money is that shit no one ever said.
Exactly.
No one ever said.
Exactly. No one ever said.
Square Enix is like, we don't need that money. We got way too much, man. We don't even know where to put it.
All right, so let me go to you, Centurion. What do you think about this whole situation, man?
I just, like I said with earlier, man. Like, I just think that.
I think I went to you first, but I
even quoted something he said, right?
But go ahead, say it again. So
no, I was just saying, like, I would want to get as much money as I can. Dude, that's what I do for a living. Is I try to put the company I work for. I want to put all their products everywhere. I want everybody's money. Like, when I see somebody come in that doesn't spend money, I feel, to me, it's just like, no, I want everybody's money. I don't want just that guy's money or this person's money. I want anybody who walks through the door, I want them to spend money.
Yeah.
Right.
How it should be.
Right. How it should be. All right. One man mother.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts, man. I'm sorry, man. Look, man. I feel so passionate about the other stuff that we were talking about here earlier, but man.
It's all good, man. No, I'm with you. I'm part of the choir. You're preaching to the choir on that, and I try not to get into that because I'll start standing on the desk and yelling.
Right.
My old neighbors, they'll get upset. So
Funny.
Oh man, but on this topic here, I do find it kind of interesting. Like I'm, as I mentioned like at the beginning of the show, and K Mega, like I'm part of the team over at Xbox Era, and we kind of manage the forums, and and I see it. I see everybody getting really upset about these types of things, and then I see it on the other side too. People get really upset, because Starfield's going to be exclusive to Xbox, and here's kind of what I would say to all of it, because there is. I do think that the rumors probably true. I mean, I think that Square and Sony are working together. They're partnering on, and Sony's gone out there. They've been trying to drop really big bags on developers, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get temporary exclusive. I don't think it's like forever, but they're long windows. They want to solidify their base for this console generation. They have a particular type of business and a way of going about it. But the flip side of it is that I think that people don't look at like all the moving parts of it. First of all, I feel like, if you are a gamer and you usually only game on one platform and you want all the big names in your platform, your feelings are probably going to get hurt this generation, regardless which way you choose. It's just the way it is. Like content is the way these. I'm not somebody that gets excited for whether something is exclusive or not, because personally, no food ever tastes better because somebody else doesn't get to eat it. That's just my
great point. Great point.
Say it again, please.
That's just me. Like
you gotta say that again. That was great.
Yeah, I need it again, bro.
Yeah, no food tastes better because somebody else isn't going to eat it. I do understand the business though, right? So I accept the fact that that's going to happen. And right now, the gaming is projected to get bigger than it's ever been. It's expected to explode over the next few years. And these platforms are going to do everything they can to differentiate. And so, yeah, I agree with Centurion when he says, why wouldn't you be everywhere as a third party? Part of me thinks like it's short-sighted to take upfront money and, not try to, gain that mind share and exposure that you might get. But, who knows? Like, who knows what other parts of the deal there is out there? I'll just say I expect more. The fact that there's probably going to be more exclusives between Xbox and Sony than we've seen probably in a good 10 years, maybe more, is a sign that the industry is really healthy. So it's kind of a weird thing that it's a positive sign, even though you might have each side is going to have some negative consequences. But then the other side of this is that in a few years, it's going to be easier to be on multiple platforms. And that's the thing people kind of forget about too. It's going to be a lot. Eventually, Sony is going to be a lot. You're going to see them. You're going to get comfortable with them being on PC. Eventually, they will be an app, just like Xbox is kind of doing that stuff too. It's going to be to that point that by the time you get through this next dev cycle, 5, 6, 7 years from now, most people are going to have access to most things, just like most people today can have Netflix and Disney, and it's not a big deal, right? So I guess that's my viewpoint on it. Is I understand it. I think that Square East works differently than Square West, so I don't think there's any overlap there. If anything, Square, if I were a betting man, I bet that Square sells off IDOS and Crystal Dynamics, and maybe the Tomb Raider IP with it. And my bet is that Microsoft's probably one of the more likely acquirers of that, but that's just a bet right now. Like if you just kind of read the tea leaves, they're not very happy with those divisions. They don't make them a lot of money, and we already see that that Microsoft's got this deal going with Crystal Dynamics and for Perfect Dark. So I feel like they're kind of getting their tentacles in there. So like I said, people are going to get their feelings hurt both ways if they only play on one platform. But there's going to be more games than anybody's ever had on a single platform too. So it's like, don't get too worked up over it, I guess. I know it's hard to say with it because, like you were talking about earlier, K-Mega, it's like, the console wars, it's like people are having a hard time like letting it go. I think they're dying. I think in a few years it's going to look kind of a lot sillier. But the exclusive games on your platform, wherever your platform is still going to be important. It's going to be important for the business, and so I just think it's part of the business. And the other side of the business is Microsoft's probably going to add some more of their own. You've already had the head of the $2 trillion corporation, Satya Nadella, has already said it. He's already said we need more IP, we need more exclusive stuff, and we need to release big stuff on Game Pass more often. Usually when the head of something like that talks, I listen to that more than I listen to rumors, right? Like he's basically telling you this is what we're trying to do. So Sony's they're in business, right? They need to do what they need to do to solidify the thing that they got. At the end of the day, I think Microsoft and Sony are in slightly different places right now in terms of where their goals are. But Microsoft is really more looking at the long game, and they're going to look to acquire things where Sony's going to try to, short term, let's get this thing locked up for 2-3 years and, make sure that we sell the consoles to the people that usually buy these games. Make sure that we, of the 100 million people that bought PS4s. Let's make sure they buy PS5s, and then we'll figure out the rest as the industry keeps changing. And it's going to change a lot. I think in the next, people are going to see that the industry is going to look very different in 5 years. So, and I think Xbox gamers kind of probably already see that a little bit, because we see Microsoft, hedging, and we know the console isn't everything to them, and that's why they want to own stuff so that they can put it on everything and not just a console. But that's my nutshell on that.
Yeah, no, I totally can agree with all of that. Me personally, I think for me, before we move on, was it is business. I do look at it a little bit differently, because look, I mean, if this was Sony acquiring Square Enix, or if Sony was acquiring the Final Fantasy franchise, then I'm like, look, for any Xbox gamer, just stop complaining. You know what I'm saying? Because this is exactly what we're seeing with Bethesda, or with with the ZeniMax situation. So there's not, but it's different. Like you were saying, and that's why it has this bad taste in my mouth, because it's like, okay, Sony is not willing to try, because it almost seems like Square Enix would be all in for them to try to have Sony acquire at least the Final Fantasy franchise, but Sony isn't willing to commit to spending that type of money.
Right.
But yet the relationship that Sony and Square Enix have, going all the way back to the PlayStation 1, it's like, well, this is where we want to be. And then I've also made this point on Next Podcast last night, where I was saying, maybe because of Xbox acquiring all of those Western JRPG company studios, maybe that makes Square Enix feels a little bit
betrayed.
In flux. Yeah, not betrayed, but feel a certain kind of way, like, because the discussion, regardless of go around through gaming, is who has the better RPGs? Is it the Japanese versions, or is it the Western versions? And when you look at the numbers, Western JRPGs dominate. At one point in time, it was all about the JRPGs, but Western RPGs has dominated that space. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, to your point, K-Mega, for people who don't understand like how big Bethesda's RPGs are, Elder Scrolls and Starfield combined have sold 100 million copies, and they didn't even start really selling big time until like Skyrim. So how many years ago was that? It's not like, it's like a decade, right? Like 100 million.
15 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've lost my track of time. I'm getting old. That's what happens when you get older.
Morrowind was the first one.
Yeah. Morrowind was kind of a niche.
But it was the one that started the whole thing, though.
Yeah, it was. Actually, you go back even further than that. Like
no, I wasn't trying to go back that far.
It goes back 22 years, like when Elder Scrolls, I think, Arena came out. But but really, until then, though, it was kind of it was really a small base. Oblivion, I think, had 4 million people that bought it, so it started to pick up pace with Oblivion.
Oblivion had way more than 4 million.
I think it was just 4 million, is what I heard. I don't know. Maybe it's changed, but
I'm sure look, y'all both are right. I you know what I'm saying, when that's the whole point about the whole number situation. We all don't know how it all ends up. We just read what we read and then go from that point of view. But no, I do agree with both of you guys on the situation of what's going on. But go ahead, finish up. So
I was just really kind of supporting what you were saying, though, K-Mega. Well, especially like, and people don't realize, like, worldwide, Microsoft is in a really good position right now, getting Bethesda, and that was kind of like stars aligning. It was like that was like a unicorn deal that they got, and so so Sony's going to do what they're going to do, and I also think Square, obviously their MMO is doing really, really good. I don't think they're going to sell right now because of that. That's driving up the value of their company a lot. So Sony can't afford really to buy them. But the thing is that sometimes being exclusive, even though you cut out part of the base, you do get kind of elevated a bit from the hardcore of that base. So they might look at it like it actually. It might help them a little bit, bolster them becoming exclusive, because it makes them feel a little bit more. I don't know what the word is. You know how that is. You know how
and
enthusiasts treat it.
Final Fantasy VII Remake sold gangbusters on the PlayStation. So
right, they got those numbers. Yeah,
right, and then you don't have any other competition there, especially if Xbox keeps those games like Outer Worlds and Skyrim and other Avowed and all those other games away from PlayStation, so PlayStation can actually really benefit being the home of Final Fantasy games. If you put Final Fantasy with Avowed and Skyrim and the others, that's Outer Worlds and all that, Final Fantasy is not going to get the same type of outlook as it would be from the Xbox community. Period. So that's why I was thinking, maybe Square Enix is looking at this as a position of benefit because they know PlayStation is they can't and they won't get those games from Xbox, and therefore, it's a Japanese company. It is, they've got a good connection, and so therefore, that's probably like. PlayStation doesn't have to acquire anybody. They just do a handshake and look, we'll just keep them here as long as we can, and then we'll do this. This is what I think overall is what's going to happen. I think all the Final Fantasy games will come to Xbox, but it will come way later. And I don't think because I think that this generation is going to be longer than probably. I think if this generation probably could be longer than
as long as the 360 generation.
I think it's going to be longer than that than the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation. Me personally, but if like you said, at least then I could see them dropping all the Final Fantasies on Game Pass. At a later time, so they can get the bag. But right now, they're getting that exclusive bag from Sony, so therefore it benefits them.
I don't mind the Final Fantasies coming late to Xbox because by the time they have all the DLCs, we'll get the whole package.
Right. No, and that's the thing. That's why I still say I'm not going to ever change and say that. And I think eventually Persona is going to come to Xbox at some point in time because
someday.
Yeah, I was so mad about Persona 4 Arena, dude.
Man.
Could you imagine?
That would have been awesome with next gen.
Could you imagine Persona on cloud? That's the perfect cloud game.
Yeah, it would.
You know what I'm saying? Japan, they could be playing it on the bus or whatever. On their phone, and that's one of those. By the way, Sir X-Man was right. I got to fact check myself. Oblivion did sell 9.5 million. It was Morrowind that it took it a bunch of years, but eventually hit 4 million. So.
Okay. So good.
I just want to fact check myself. You're right. You're right, Sir X-Man.
Yeah, because my ex-wife, that's all she played was Skyrim and the Oblivion.
Yeah,
man.
So you were correct. Although it was interesting, I just looked it up. Morrowind, it took years for it to just get up to. It took a while for it just to get up to 200,000 copies.
Yeah, so it was an Xbox and PC exclusive. That's why.
Yeah, it was a slow grind, but they didn't need it.
Yeah, back then the PCs couldn't handle it like the consoles.
Well, right. and then I'm looking at what Rain is saying in the chat, and he's like, Sony can't afford it. But they don't have to if they know that they got, they got a relationship to where,
and they can go on a payment plan.
Yeah, they can say, look, you can just look, we'll give you the extra money to make it a year or two exclusive. But yeah, and that's way cheaper than they can put that money on whatever that they want to going forward. Which
You think EA paid for football all in one big payment? Nah, they spread it out.
Sony's not a small company. People assume that they're small compared to Microsoft, but they're not a small. They're almost $100 billion, and gaming is the most important thing. So
Nintendo has more one bad.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, with gaming being as important as it is, like I wouldn't put it past Sony to spend billions to get, or whatever. I don't know. Like they could spend I've heard they spend a lot of money on getting temporary, the money hats.
Oh
so.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So if I could propose one question,
yes, sir.
Go for it.
Well, the business person inside me, because of what I do, makes me ask. Is the money that Sony is giving them right now to keep it exclusive truly worth it, purely because we know how hard it is to obtain a PS5? So I'm really curious on how large of an install base you're actually securing.
If they make it PS5 exclusive, that's if they make it PS5.
But it's not going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Now
right, they got to put it on PS4.
They got to put it on PS4. So that's why, and that's another reason why PlayStation said they're going to be doing the cross-gen thing later than what Xbox was saying by saying going 24 and beyond.
So somebody actually woke up over there, K-Mega, and realized that?
Yeah, they said that last year. I don't understand why there's no PlayStation fans that don't understand that. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, so let's go on. We got 3 more topics, and I want to try to get it done here in the next 40 minutes, if you guys don't mind. So let's get to Ubisoft. No. We'll talk about Ubisoft, and then we get to our predictions, and then damn. Oh my goodness, I do got 3. Well, hold on.
He's so confused.
I am because the predictions got to be done. So you know what? PlayStation VR might have to be pushed on until next week. Because
you know what? I would wait on PlayStation VR until you hear full confirmation.
Because we don't know the price.
Along their console.
Wait till you really hear.
For me, to sum it up real quick on PlayStation VR, because we were talking about the pandemic earlier, things could be technically going backwards in the world of production. So PS5s are already hard to get a hold of. I could only imagine how hard it would be to get a PSVR2 and fight the scalpers for them. So therefore,
that is so perfect of a point.
You won't see a VR for 8 years with these scalpers.
Okay, so you're going to be seeing as photos of people with them in their basements when they're trying to sell them on eBay.
Okay. So briefly, I just want to hear you guys' thoughts about it, and then we'll move on. What do you think the price will be for the PlayStation VR 2?
$500 for the headset. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
How much is the Nintendo Switch OLED again?
$350.
$349.
$349.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! You could probably see because of all the other tech in it. Maybe God, I don't want to say 500, but you never know.
Altogether, it probably costs you about $800, $700 altogether.
Well, they have those joysticks or whatever.
That means included because Sony likes to bundle that stuff.
But they're going to bundle that. Saying 5. I'm saying 5. No, they're not bundled. So they're going to be. So I think if they do a bundle, it's going to be. I say personally, it's got to be 500. They can't go over 500. But
wait. I'm sorry. The hand doodads are not included?
Not originally, but now everything you get is a combination pack with everything in it.
Not with these.
Not with Sony. No.
Not with Sony. They're doing the Apple thing.
Okay, hold on. Let's be very specific about what you're saying. Yeah. I'm telling you, as a person who bought a PSVR, I know originally day one, I didn't buy day one. It didn't come with the controllers because those controllers were from the PS3, the Move controllers.
Right.
They reused those with the VR. What you're saying is they didn't pack it in with that VR or this new one?
These new one has separate.
Right. These have new controllers. But they haven't said if they're coming with or without the headset at all. But they always talk about it.
No, they said they're separate. Yeah, they're separate.
Yeah, this is Sony.
They got to be using the Oculus as a model for what they should include in the box. And from the tech, from the sensors in the headset, the haptic feedback that they're putting in everything. I really see them trying to actually push this for a very premium price because it's going to be because they want you to feel the heartbeat of the character that you're playing during intense moments through the haptic feedback. They're probably going to try to push a very heavy premium price.
But here's the one weird thing about that, because I agree with you completely, Sanctuary, and I think everybody else was pretty much saying the same thing. But I look back at what Oculus did with the Oculus Quest 2. Folks, you got to realize that's an Android device, basically, with the headset and all the hardware that it has, self-contained. Yes, you could plug into a PC and use it as a PC VR headset, or even do it wirelessly with AirLink or with virtual desktop, right? The PlayStation headset is going to be at least as good, if not slightly higher res than that, but it's not going to have no Android hardware, whatever processing and everything. It's a dumb headset, right? And that plugs into the PlayStation. The PlayStation is doing all the work. The thing is, Facebook and now Meta are losing money on every system sold, but even then, that theory is fledgling, but at least we're familiar with that in the console arena. Like, they sell the consoles at a loss and they make up the money.
They're making it up on software. Yep.
Right. But the one thing with that, because this is everybody's assumption for what Facebook did, because the hardware, because the level of hardware they provide with the Quest 2 is such that they're doing that same thing. However, when the base Quest 2 first came out at 64 gigs for $299, like a couple months ago since, they have now upgraded that to 128 gigs for the same $299.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, months ago they've already done this. So
it was $100 more, yeah.
No, it's the same price for the base model, but the base model gives you twice the capacity now for the same price. So, and if you follow what I'm implying here,
he sound like I might have to grab one.
They already must have made back that money such that they're making a profit or breaking even, or maybe they thought it wise to reinvest in.
Oculus, though,
that's Oculus and Facebook. Yeah, now, Sony cannot do that. But remember, this is still a console arena. That's still a valid tactic in the console arena.
I don't know,
sell that hardware at a right.
That was the second hottest thing during the holidays. That was the second hottest seller on the holidays.
Sony had to
next to the Xbox Series S.
My son bought one. That was the first time that I ever played a game on playing VR.
You played with iHerpes K-Mega?
What'd you say?
Yeah, I played with iHerpes K-Mega.
I played with the iHerpes machine. I said this shit is kind of cool, but I am not going to buy this.
Did you wipe everything off with alcohol rub and everything before you put it on?
But see, at Christmas, this was what was the crazy thing. At Christmas, he was talking to everybody to put that thing on and shit like that, and I'm like, nah, bro.
Hell to the no.
Yeah. No, like people sweating. No.
But it just goes to show. See, the success of the Quest. Right, the success of the Quest at $300 has set a new expectation now. A lot of people are saying these high prices, and I'm not saying I disagree, but the success of the Quest is really dictating the situation, and it's going to affect Sony's choices. Price is a major concern. Concern. Now, this is a dumb headset in comparison to what the Quest is doing, right? Because it has its own Android hardware on there with a processor and everything. It's a standalone headset. It doesn't need nothing to work, right? So what can Sony do to keep the price down? And selling the controllers separately is a piece of that, but that's going to hurt them too. Every option they have.
The only thing that I can see is that wire, because there's a lot of people that was upset about the wire aspect.
If it's a dumb headset without the Android hardware in there like the Quest has, that's not possible either. It needs some kind of smarts on its own to be able to do that.
Well, then that's why I think that's it. I think that
it's tough.
To have it
tough on them now.
To have it to be at an affordable price would be $400.
Yeah.
Hey guys, question on that.
That's the price in the last one. That's too much.
And then they'll package those joysticks, and then that'll be a $500 package.
And it has to have some kind of packing game, like a major game, a system seller game. It needs that.
Real quick on this subject. You know, Facebook and Microsoft are cool with each other, right?
Exactly.
Could
That's the other
you
thing.
imagine if Microsoft said you can use your? We got games coming
They have
for
their own
VR,
line of headsets already that already
and
exist. Yep.
right, and we're gonna team up with Oculus, so you can now use your Oculus Quest on your Xbox One X and Series.
I've always believed that Microsoft would actually team up with Oculus. That's why they've had no desire to build a VR headset because they know as soon as Oculus gets to that point, they'll just bring them in.
And they had their own tech with the Windows mixed reality and all that.
What you gonna say, D?
They could have did it, but
what you gonna say, D?
So, side note, because I'm all about the savings.
Right.
So I did see that the Oculus was like the top, like you go on Amazon, it's like Amazon #1 seller. So you can buy the Oculus Rift, whatever the hell it is. I'm sorry. Amazon has no fees, no interest, easy pay. Just putting it out there.
That's what they doing. They trying to get them out there.
They did that with my steering wheel and my screen, my new display screen.
Sony can't do that, but they can. But they can't expect a lot of profit off their hardware. They got to get that hardware out there.
I'm about to go get a Quest. Thank you, D.
You're welcome.
So a lot of people sold their 64 gigs on eBay to get a 128. So try that too now. And that's if you're not averse to having used one. And wipe it the hell down. Wipe it the hell down. But there you go.
There's a lot of stuff that just another side note. There are a lot of brands that partner with Amazon. So Samsung tablets, TVs, iPads here and there. They will be on no fee, no interest, no credit check, easy pay of 5 months. Just putting it out there.
I love that when they do that.
That's the future, I think.
That is definitely when they did that.
Well, you already see Xbox doing that, but yeah. Okay.
I think they're gonna team up, K-Mega. I think Oculus
I
and
do
Microsoft
think so too. I wanted
up.
to get into that whole discussion because Xbox did say that they were going to do it, but we got to move on because I don't want to keep you guys. I want to 30 more minutes and then we got to go. So
what do you mean? I packed a lunch for this.
No.
Just camping out.
No. Because I gotta get back to Valhalla and try to beat this goddamn game in the next 4 days.
I'm running out of Snickers bars over here.
No. Listen. Okay, so here we go. I do want to show this because I found this to be very, very, very interesting, right? And here we go. Let me do it. I'm going to be pressing some buttons now. Here we go. Okay, make a press some buttons. Here we go. Oh Lord, I can still press these buttons right. All right, so okay.
What is that?
This right here was pretty interesting, right? Okay, so
there it is.
Yeah, Ben Studios pitched an open world Resistance game after Days Gone 2 was rejected, right?
Ooh.
So all these rumors started coming about like that there was supposed to be a Resistance game. I thought Resistance was a fantastic
I love
game.
Resistance Fallen, man.
Resistance.
Not the first one.
Resistance.
Not the first one. Oh
No,
my
I
God.
love the first one and
the
the second one.
online.
I love them both.
Both of them were great.
I thought them both was dope for me, but
You had to build the story up somewhere, dude.
Yeah. But I thought
Oh, the
they
game
both
was
were-
ass. It was the gameplay that really hurt me in the first one, but afterwards it got better.
But I mean, you got to think about the old time. If you played the game when it first came out, like
Old time.
graphically, it was great. I mean,
It was.
But I thought it was amazing. Like it was great.
Them giant ass monsters coming out, just oh my God, how am I
Right,
gonna kill
like
that
to
thing?
me, like it was like the answer to Gears. That's why I like Resistance. Like, I mean, I really did. Like, in my but anyway, okay. So, but that's not the whole point here, right? This is what is interesting, right? Is what David Jaffe had an interview with the top dev that left, and see, I didn't know that he quit, right? So this is what he said, right? He said the pitch I was making was open world Resistance would be fucking rad. Ross told Jaffe. There were all these open world loops that we figured out. It almost wrote itself with Resistance. There were so many aspects of the property that lent itself to open world gameplay, but they weren't interested. They weren't interested in either. I don't know how well it's sold, right? So then he's talking about also with Days Gone. Now I have seen, and you don't normally see a lot of PlayStation people go out for bat to go against Sony. But for Days Gone, they have been. And I agree with them wholeheartedly because I thought Days Gone was a really good game. You know what I'm saying? Was it the best game I've ever played? No. But I put Days Gone in the same category as the Order 1886 and I also and Remedy's Quantum Break. I thought all three of those games.
Son of Rome. That needs a remake too.
Rise is at a higher level to me than the three games that I said. Rise is next level to me.
It's way up there.
As a launch title, and even though I thought Quantum Break I thought Quantum Break was a better overall story game.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
But Rise was one of those games that was like, this could be Xbox version of God of War if they.
This is Crytek. Right. Oh yeah, it was that good.
Right. So, but this game, but Days Gone was really good to me. I thought Days Gone was really good. I thought the Order 1886 was really fun and good. I thought, of course, Quantum Break was really good. I put all three of those games in that same category. And so, but Sony, Xbox has got Quantum Break, but to see that a game like Days Gone that sold more than Ghost of Tsushima, which is my game of the year in 2020. I mean, in 2019?
2021.
No. Ghost of Tsushima came out 2020.
2020.
2020.
No, 2020.
Oh yeah, 2020.
The year went by so weirdly. I forgot. I'm sorry.
2020.
Yeah, this past year went by quick. Yeah.
You don't remember Jeff Keighley getting his buddy up there showing off how he was putting the game?
That's right. So because Cyberpunk dropped, and I played Cyberpunk, and I thought Cyberpunk was out, and this is what my thought was Cyberpunk or Ghost of Tsushima was the game of the year for me. Right, like it didn't matter which one of those, but because a lot of people couldn't play Cyberpunk, then I'm like, Ghost of Tsushima should be hands down the game of the year. But of course, we all know that The Last of Us 2 got it or whatever, right? So, and that's fine. I'm not tripping about that, because I know a lot of people that like the game. But Days Gone's outsold Ghost of Tsushima, and for Sony to come out and to say, well, no, we don't want it. And then they don't want Resistance. And this was the thing right here that this is the reason why I want to talk about this. They said, the same guy said, Ross also revealed that after the pitch for Days Gone 2, which would have been included a shared universe with co-op play, oh my God, that would have been fire, was rejected. He asked if Ben Studios would reboot Siphon Filter. So my boy Crispy, he always talk about if Siphon Filter would come back.
He loves Siphon Filter.
Would come back. He would give him a PlayStation day one. However,
remember that taser that went flying across the electrocute? What?
Yeah. Siphon Filter was fire. However, Ross didn't really have any interest in such a thing, and so he said it was just an ask. Are there any IPs that we have that we can use? And the only other IP was Siphon Filter. Ross said, but honestly, I have zero idea on how to reboot Siphon Filter. I was not interested in that at all. It was almost like a keep them busy type of question. Hey guys, why don't you come up with something for Siphon Filter while we figure out what we're confident in pitching? So I don't think it was ever genuine. So again, okay, my question to you, and I'm going to go to you first on this with Centurion. Doesn't this seem like to me what Xbox was getting crucified for last gen for not wanting to not bring back certain IPs or innovate IPs that were known through, Xbox? Doesn't it seem like PlayStation is now going through this same type of scenario right now after hearing the developer from Ben Studios kind of just say, look, we pitched out all these different type of titles, and Sony just said no. What do you think?
I think that this is actually showing how Sony has been for quite a long time. There's a massive amount of similarity between a lot of PlayStation games, between different developers. They all seem to have, it's like when you sit down at the table with PlayStation, and I'm not trying to say this is a dig, but when you sit down at the table with PlayStation, it's like they slide a piece of paper across the table to you saying, you got to have a third person over the shoulder. It's got to have this. It's got to have that. It's like there's just certain similar elements that seem to appear in these games. And it, to me, that's always just shown how much control Sony has in their studios, or at least the amount of freedom that they don't let these studios have. And that's where with Xbox, they didn't let them have that freedom either. They started trying to make them push things they didn't want to do or have passion for. And it bit them in the ass with Lion's Head. And that was actually spoke of in Power On with the whole story of Xbox, about how they learned a very harsh lesson about not letting a studio have a certain amount of freedom for projects that they're passionate for. I would not want to play Siphon Filter. I know of Siphon Filter. I would not want to play it, but hearing this pitch for a Fall of Man, Resistance Fall of Man open world RPG. Oh my God, I would be like in it in a second. I would want to check this out. I would also be right there to play Days Gone. Yeah, Days Gone too. I enjoyed the first Days Gone game. I enjoyed the story, the world, driving around, screwing with the freakers. Really fun gameplay, and that's where it's just completely shocking that it's actually not shocking that Sony is not listening to their fan base. Though I love how you can actually compared it to the Order 1886 and Quantum Break. Quantum Break was a really good game for me. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I couldn't put that game down until I completed it. Really sucks that there's not a continuation of the story. 1886, another unrealized IP from PlayStation. What more could you have? We got werewolves, vampires. We've got King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. We've got Nikola Tesla, steampunk style weapons. I mean, what more could you want out of a really cool Victorian era game?
That fight on the blimp was so amazing to me.
Oh, dude, for real.
That. Yes.
And that's where it just really stinks that PlayStation doesn't allow some of the freedoms that Xbox allows their developers. Like a developer over at Xbox could walk in and say, hey, we're working on all these projects for you, but we have this passion project we're doing, kind of like Bleeding Edge. And Microsoft was like, all right, yeah, go for it. Let's see what happens. Bleeding Edge obviously did not work out, probably like Obsidian wanted. But hey, Xbox is willing to let their developers try. And it doesn't seem like PlayStation is really open to that amount of freedom. They just want these style of games that they specifically want to fit their agenda. And even more, that's where I'm starting to see, like, it seems more of PlayStation's agenda with gaming is they want these entertainment-based IPs. They want it somehow being able to connect to television or movies and other pop culture phenomenon through comic books. They haven't really been able to, shall I say, have the diversity that appears over on Xbox. I mean, could you really see Double Fine going over to PlayStation and pitching Psychonauts and getting it over there?
No.
It was going to be over there at first in a crowdfunding, but Microsoft scooped them up and said, finish your game.
What PlayStation was going to do was the same thing they did with Shenmue 3, which was absolutely disrespectful in my opinion, because Shenmue 3 is a shell of what Shenmue 1 and 2
It should have been. Yep.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
What do they do with them? Wait, what? For those of us that don't know, what they do?
They had the head
Kickstarter.
They made a Kickstarter, but they had the head of the Shenmue developer come up on stage. Yeah, I think, what's his name again?
Yu Suzuki.
they had him come on stage and pretty much say, look, we want you to, we're going to do a Kickstarter, but it's going to be only exclusive on PlayStation. The ultimate disrespect. Like, Sony wants to get the rights of having Shenmue 3
but don't want to pay for it?
But they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
They want gamers to pay for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then when the game got money, Sony didn't even match what the fan base spent on the game. And when the game got released, the game was awful.
That's why you see it on Xbox now.
The dream game people wanted. The guy doesn't work for Sega anymore. Somehow he got the rights or whatever, and then
Shenmue 3 is not on PlayStation. It's not on Xbox yet, but I got it on PC. And
it's on PC.
I got it on PlayStation and PC because I love Shenmue. Right, like that was the first game that got me into big open world games, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm gotta support." So I mean, I didn't do no Kickstarter, but I did I bought both titles, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna wait until I get my PC up, and then I'm gonna start playing it." And the game looks horrid. I got gameplay that I'm embarrassed to even show, but I'm gonna show. No, it's that bad. It's that bad. If you guys know me, I don't really talk bad about games. I might say it's not for me or what eye herpes or something like that, but you don't hear me say that a game is just awful. That game is awful. It's terrible. And
kind of like Drake the Vampire.
Oh man, it's bad. Well, it's not as bad as that 360.
Think of the 99 Dragons, you mean?
But it's awful. I'll show some gameplay and let people see it and judge it for themselves. But I you know what I'm saying. But it was awful. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just wanting to say that it really stinks that they don't let them have this kind of freedom because, you know, one of the thoughts I had was we already know that over on the Xbox side, the initiative is getting ready to launch Perfect Dark, which is almost like a different style of Siphon Filter. And more people know about Perfect Dark than Siphon Filter. Like they would have a large road ahead of them just trying to even create hype for an IP that a lot of people would think is a new IP, not knowing that there's actually an established fan base for Siphon Filter.
Great point.
God, yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Great point.
It's like I can't even get Sony to make Hawks too. That would be a bad multiplayer.
The one thing I keep forgetting, right? Because I've been such a gamer for so long. All of us on this panel have been gamers for so long. That we are the old parents that buy games for our kids now. And I still don't think that way because it's still like any new game that comes out, like, oh yeah, I remember it. But my son and daughter don't know anything about a Siphon Filter or a, you know, or about a Mark of the Tree or anything like that, like or Xenogears. They know about maybe Final Fantasy, but they don't know about those type of games that the Centurion is making. And I keep forgetting that we are the older heads now that are the parents that everybody keeps talking about, the dumb parents that was back in the old Nintendo Sega days. You know what I'm saying?
They don't even know why we like Sonic, man. They don't even know why we like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Kids don't even know why we like Sonic.
and you got to compete with concepts of nowadays. The younger generation of gamers prefer stuff like Call of Duty, Warzone, Fortnite. They prefer that free-to-play model, which has very little output of money to start playing. And if you enjoy your experience, that's when you start putting your money in.
Oh, they put our money in with our credit cards. And you gotta cut it off.
I see a lot of "I will work for V-Bucks" shirts going around on social media.
Man, I'll take out the garbage if you give me some V-Bucks. Yeah, I remember that one.
All right, so very quickly, let's talk about the Ubisoft Xbox thing, and then we talk about our predictions, and then we get the hell out of here. What do you guys think about the whole the Ubisoft Xbox thing? You know, I know that there's some people out there that was really touting it and getting excited about it, but it is not a part. Ubisoft Plus is not a part of Game Pass. So, do you think that is a fail at this point, or do you think that eventually that this could turn into like EA Play and come on Game Pass at a later date?
If it's part,
we'll let the lady go
go
first.
ahead real quick.
Let the lady go first. Yeah, go ahead, D.
All right. So I do feel that at some point they are going to have to put their pride to the side and put it on Game Pass, because reason why I say that is that if you look at the history of Ubisoft has many different franchises they've put out over the last couple of years. However, majority of them, from what I've seen as far as talking to people, playing them myself, they're not sticking. Rainbow Six Siege came out at this point 7 years ago, right? 7 years, and it's still going strong. But then the next Rainbow is coming to Game Pass day one. Day one. And it's the first, if I'm not mistaken, it is the first Ubisoft game to be on Game Pass.
And Rainbow Six Vegas was.
You might be right.
Yeah, those two are on there. Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and Vegas 2 for backwards compatible were the first group of games on Game Pass.
But for what she's talking about for Game Pass, though, like, I mean, in the sense of a newer game,
I know
the Division might, but
it was there for Division was there for a minute. Division 1 was there. Division 2's never been in Game Pass.
Okay, but go ahead. But I think you're right, though, overall.
I just found it interesting because, well, okay, I could be wrong. I too will fact check myself. When I think of the big Ubisoft titles, Assassin's
like you're
Creed,
watching right now, Assassin's Creed. Shout out to Eivor.
God, here we go again.
Anyways,
I love Cassandra, but Eivor, boy, he's a thug. Boy.
They haven't put, Assassin's Creed isn't on there, Watch Dogs isn't on there. And if I'm not mistaken, Ghost Recon isn't on there. So I feel like it's just interesting that out of nowhere, mind you, this game Extraction, which was supposed to be called, if I'm not mistaken, Pandemic, and they had to change it.
And they stuck the Rainbow Six name on it. It's a Rainbow Six game in name only, surely.
I just find it interesting that it's kind of a twofer. This game is coming out in like maybe 2 weeks max.
There's gonna be a whole lot of people.
You guys know where Rainbow Six Extraction came from, right?
No, I don't.
No.
It was an event.
No,
me and my friends play Rainbow Six religiously. It was like a 1 month event where like literally you and select operators would fight these, and everybody wanted them to bring it back. And rather than bringing it as an event, they wanted to make it a standalone game.
That's right. That's the first thing, because I said, you know what? I might jump on Siege because they're showing aliens and creatures and shit. Like, this looks crazy.
That makes sense.
That was about like 3 years ago, 3-4 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was an event years ago.
He was still talking.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Totally fine. I didn't know that. I like knowing things, so that was nice to know. It reminds me of Saints Row, where they were going to do the Dominatrix DLC, and they're like, "No, we're just going to make a Saints Row 4 based on that." So that was a nice little tidbit. But I think they're going to be stubborn because I'm not going to lie to you. I knew people that had played, EA Play, because EA, even though we kind of hate them for their sports game, they still had cute, Ravel and things of that nature. So I knew of people who bought EA Play. I've never heard of one person personally that has talked about Ubisoft subscription. And the problem right now is everybody and their mother has a subscription. So for them to be like, hey, we're going to bring it to Xbox, but you got to pay for it. It seems like they're testing the water as far as like who's going to pay for it and who isn't. I think after a while, they're going to be like, nobody's biting. Let's get these numbers up. Let's show our investors, our board members that Ubisoft Plus, whatever the hell it's called, is something we need to continue with. and give it out to the masses. Because personally, I feel like at this point we're getting to the point in gaming, it's not so much, from what I've seen, I could be wrong and I don't see everything, but from what I've seen, I'm not seeing a lot of, you're seeing the copies sold over time, but there are certain games where the statistic that they're running with is how many players are playing. So Ghost Recon, Sea of Thieves, Division, they're not saying, oh, we sold this many copies of Division. They're saying, this is how many agents went rogue. This is how many hours y'all spent in the dark zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the statistics they're going with. And I feel like they'll reach a bigger audience if they bring that to Game Pass, especially with the Game Pass numbers increasing. Because if they say, like, hey, we bend the knee, we're going to go ahead and integrate Ubisoft Plus, that's 20,000 systems you're on instantly. You know what I'm saying? So, because me personally, I don't really care about Ubisoft.
He needs some milk.
I'm not about to get from them because they piss me off. So I'm not gonna. Them putting the Plus situation and it's not on Game Pass is not gonna help me. And I'm somebody that bought every
but if they
Assassin's
put
Creed
that
and everything.
milk in Game Pass, then you're gonna be like,
I'd pay an extra $5 a month for the Ubisoft thing. Again, if the games are there that I want,
they got all the games, all of the Ubisoft games.
I want. If you're gonna give me all the Ubisoft games, give me Hawks 1 and Hawks 2.
All of the Ubisoft games, they're all in there. All of them is in there.
I want the 360 Hawks 1 and Hawks 2.
Hawks games is a different whole concept.
Didn't I just tell you they got all of the Ubisoft games?
Bet you they don't have those two he's asking for.
They got those in there. They got
Hawks 1 and Hawks 2. Me and my friends know like
they have legal issues behind the licensing of the planes. No. They don't have that.
They got Hawk in there. I signed up for it for a month. They got Hawks in there. I've seen Hawks. I know.
PC?
On PC, yeah. I don't know
I'm
about
to sign up right now. I
know
didn't know that.
I know they got Hawks on there. I don't know about 2 because I didn't know they had a second, but they got Hawks in there.
Yeah, me and my friends, we played Hawks 1 and 2. We played it for months, dude.
They got all of that shit in there.
It was like their own Ace Combat. Yep.
Yeah, it was awesome. 4-player missions.
They got over 100 and some games in their portfolio.
Now, I will say I do have the expansion, and there are some games that are on Game Pass. I'm like, all right, I might as well try it. Like Mass Effect. I played literally 20 minutes of Mass Effect in like 2009 and never touched it again. So
ready to hit it now?
I'm about to do it now because it's included.
You better play that Mass Effect.
All right, I'm gonna do it now.
I'm gonna take you to school. I'm gonna take your ass to school.
You've never been the first one,
I'm gonna put a board. I'm gonna put a board up.
Okay.
Put a board up. Listen, hold on. I gotta interrupt. I gotta interrupt.
I just want to know. I just want you to let me know your choice when you get to the end of Mass Effect 1. Just let me know what your choice was.
Oh,
you'll know when you get there.
I gotta stay.
Don't you spoil it for? I just want her to let me know what her choice was at the end of Mass Effect 1.
You talking to me?
Nah, I want her to tell me.
So I'll definitely do that. That's one of the things where it's just like, I ain't got an excuse. But there are just some things with Ubisoft that I'm just like, I'm not putting that game in my hard drive.
Why people have a hard time with Ubisoft? I don't know. Ubisoft be giving you
don't get me started.
content.
You want to get me started? You want me to get me started?
Break it down.
You want to get me started?
I know. That's right. You go.
It's G-Rad time. Let's go.
Go ahead. Oh my God. Okay, we're running out of time. Okay, I'm sorry.
I will compress my rant. Ubisoft pissed me off with more than one franchise.
Right. Yes.
They pissed me off with Assassin's Creed.
Watch Dogs. The last Watch Dogs, for sure.
Watch Dogs, they pissed me off too.
Okay, you said Assassin's Creed? Okay, what did they piss you off with Assassin's Creed with?
Okay, all right. So Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, man, you better not say. What? Whoa, what? What?
Let her get her rant in.
Let me finish my statement.
Yeah, you go. Hold on.
Oh, hell no!
What? About Origins?
So Assassin's Creed Origins was a fresh take on the formula of Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He had a story. He had something that you could like feel. He was married. You had cutscenes, all that good stuff. You can get your little equipment, upgrade it. Everything was nice. They had cute little DLCs, expansions, new map, new territories, everything sweet. I'm cool with that. Then they were like, oh yeah, so y'all enjoying Origins. Here's Odyssey, and it's releasing in like 6 months. When they showed Odyssey, I thought it was screenshots of Origins. Then when you got it, it was like, yeah, so you need to grind this out. Then Odyssey wasn't even an assassin. It came out a year after Origins. A lot of the
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, Russell. No, it came out right after.
Yeah, I hit you with the Russell. What? Okay, go ahead.
We're like, we're gonna go more in the RPG route. You can choose who you are, which to me, I have nothing against RPGs. But when you have RPGs like that, it just I want there to be a story that is the story.
It is a story. You ain't got to do all the other elements within Odyssey.
The dialogue options really turned me off. And then Valhalla, they came back and were like, yo, so we heard y'all. It's not going to be that big. It's smaller. There's not that much content.
It's not smaller.
Oh, okay. How much content is in that bitch?
Okay, many, so like, as you see me playing this, okay, hold on. Let me explain to you how big this game is, right? Like, okay, so
what happened was,
what happened was is that what they did is that they manipulated the game, right? Okay, so Odyssey, yes, Odyssey is the biggest world that I've ever played in any game in my life. From touching from one end to the other, I think I put in about 500 hours in that game, right? So I'm thinking like, yeah, they need to cut that shit back. That's a lot of content to just on one game, right? Especially for a single player experience. But what they did with this is that they put it in pieces, right? And so instead of them, so what they did is that like it is a smaller world. It is much smaller than Odyssey. But there's so much shit to get. If you're a person like me, if you see flashing lights, you're kind of like a deer in the headlight. I gotta go there so I can see what the hell that flashing light is. I want to know what's here. I want to kill the ultimate beast. I want to get this treasure. I want to get this. I want to get that. So you kind of find out that you have just about as much content to do within Valhalla. But where they get you at is that they separate play, because the first 12 hours into the game, 10 to 12 hours in the game, is that you're in Norway. And then the credits roll. That's when I knew that I was in trouble. I'm like, oh shit. I thought I'm here. Well, no, you got to go to England. Then once you get to England and do all that shit there, then there's some other shit there too. There's Asgard and all this other shit. And now they got this new DLC expansion coming out here in March where I think that they're going to try to compete with God of War with their version of Valhalla. So I mean, it's crazy.
I'm stuck right there. Let me ask you this. So if Odyssey, let's just do it into food. If Odyssey is 5 courses, they bring you all 5 courses at the same time, right? Valhalla, they bring you 7 courses, but they keep bringing each course every 30 minutes. Does that negate the fact that Valhalla is 7 courses and Odyssey is 5?
No.
Then it is what it is.
I understood that. Yeah.
You're right.
No. This is the problem. I understand why they took break years. They took a break year in 2016. Yeah. They took a break year in 2019, and they took a break year in 2021. They took breaks, which I'm cool with. The problem is they're like, oh, we heard y'all. Y'all don't want this long experience. We're going to do much better. every time I turn around and that account is tweeting, it is some other expansion. There is not one person that I've talked to personally that has beaten Valhalla and was like, I enjoyed every second of it. It was worth going. Every time I see somebody, I just beat Valhalla, it's like, good God, I'm finally done. I'm not playing it again.
May I ask
And
you
when the
question
when
about
the
a
leak
I'm
when
enjoying
the
it, but
leak
yeah, I can
footage
feel that. I can
Mega.
feel that.
when the leaked footage came out in 2020, there was leaked footage on YouTube for 30 minutes. I was bored 5 minutes in. And I was like, I'm not going to like this game because the fact that I'm seeing leaked footage and it's showing me the action, I was just like, I don't want to play this.
Man,
You
no,
know,
it's
ask you
good
too.
though.
Can I please
And
ask you
it's
two
good.
an Assassin's Creed question? Can I please ask you two?
Yeah,
Please,
but hold
real
on, but
quick.
hold on, but yeah, you can ask you two, but I want to agree with Sleepy Goblin too.
I want to
Because-
ask both of y'all.
Okay, so the Bayek story was my favorite story. Him and his wife, that whole scenario with Origins made me an Assassin's Creed fan. Like, oh shit, this is so deep. This is so real. This is so touching. You get Cleopatra, all that, like Caesar, like that was so dope. Like, I'm like, oh my God. So it made me play even the older ones that I wasn't even into. And then I played Odyssey and I was like, nah, they can't get that magic. But Cassandra was such. See, I didn't play as the dude, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a twist between Cassandra and the dude, right? But other than that, I didn't play as the dude, I played as Cassandra. And that story was so great. And it made me fall in love of trying to kill all of the what's called a Cosmos. I forgot what they're called. They're
Cult
what
members?
yeah, the Cult of Cosmos. Like, bro,
Mhm.
and then that tie-in, and then now when I'm playing Valhalla, and I agree with you. Like, I'm at this
Now,
point
can I ask?
now. Well,
Yes, please ask.
go ahead, please ask.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's not trying to hear me. She's not trying.
The original two Assassin's Creed were based on this guy going back in his.
cares about the first
No.
two Assassin's Creeds?
I need to ask
Garbage.
because no.
Ask the question.
Let me ask K-Mega.
Yeah.
The first two Assassin's Creeds was about this guy going back to his past, family generations and stuff like that to figure out things that are affecting the future. So I'm wondering what happened to that continuation of that.
They're still
Because
doing
Kill
that.
that guy.
do they still go back? Do they still go back?
Yeah, to the
But
to normal times. Yeah.
Do they still go back in the newer Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, yes. There's a what happened was that in Origins, because I haven't played the XCO because I played the first one. It was the most boring game I've ever played, and I never came back.
When
to
did this
Assassin's
become
Creed.
the Assassin's Creed discussion?
I know, right? Like, I mean, I know, and I said we was gonna hurry up. But no, the one point I want to try to make on this is that it does still go out the element where you're playing as other people. You're playing as the people who can go into that world.
But you still start from the future and then reflecting back on
Yes.
past.
Yes,
Correct.
It goes beyond that in the DLCs, especially with the Atlantis DLC, when you see one of the characters meet a character from the future meets a character from the past, because I don't want to give spoilers,
Right.
and they basically are like, how the hell are you still alive? And he actually shows like basically an artifact of Eden that has kept that character alive for thousands of years.
Yes.
And basically he's like, you're the protector now, and he hands the artifact to that character, and basically like the character, and it changes everything, because I actually thought that was pretty cool.
Right.
That's why I stopped playing it, because they never show that on any of the trailers.
You gotta play it.
From going I mean, I understand where you're coming from,
but that's why they showed Cassandra.
I thought they stopped that.
But that's why they could show Cassandra, and that's why I was like, oh shit, they are putting it all together where Cassandra meets Eivor. And as my boy Sleepy Goblin calls her, I think Yvette or something like that, but Eivor, and they're like, whoa, who are you? And she's like, I'm from somewhere else. And then it ties in everything. And then on top of that, the main protagonist, because what happens is that the protagonist, they don't have to go through that Artemis or whatever the hell that thing is called, from the older Assassin's Creeds, and just play as Alicio and whoever they were back then. They can play as any other person that they can find the DNA from now, and so that's why the games are different. So it's
I mean,
a
I
big
can
twist
understand
to it.
that,
Yeah, it's a
but
big
now I
crazy
just wanted
twist.
to make sure that they still go from what's happening to the future to what's happening in the dreamscape that the guy is in.
Yeah, and they're
Okay.
showing that Eivor is very, very important. And now, since I'm so invested into the game, I got to know why she's in America and not, you know what I'm saying, why she's buried in America, and what the fuck happened to where she's in America and not in England. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
In the original games, the Animus was a massive piece of technology that took up a whole room and required all this power to work. In the newer games, the Animus is actually the size of a large oversized suitcase that about the size of a human being.
Wow.
And you basically set this thing, and basically they have this thing and they're not supposed to have it.
Right.
And they're basically up to something. Like basically they're like they're a rogue member of Abstergo, and they keep going back into the past, acquiring DNA of other people, and they're using this Animus, and basically Abstergo is hunting them.
Virtual machine that puts you back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the size of a tanning booth, I would say.
Right.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
it's a little more, but they carry it around with them. I know they move it around.
It's Oculus Quest.
It's Oculus Quest.
That got me interested in catching up on some of them. I'm putting it in my backlog now.
Very,
I thought they were just,
man.
I thought they were just playing everything from
they're tying it all together.
I didn't think they went back to the future.
No, they're tying it all together, and that's why I think what's going to happen. There's a reason why they did the 60 frames per second situation with Origins, because they want people to go back and play that, because these last three games are probably the most important than any of the rest of them, and they're going to combine them all into this big, huge, like, whatever that they're going to do. So I know. I'm sorry.
Right. In Origins, they find one of Bayek's knives with his DNA on it, and that's how they go into Bayek's mind. And in the Odyssey, she finds the spear that he carries around with him, and the spear has his DNA on it. So they basically go through and they find these artifacts that belong to these people to get the DNA to feed into the Animus.
Yeah, good thing these games are always on sale, so I can get it at a decent price to just go and play them.
Other thing, and I know that this has turned into the Assassin's Creed topic, but the one thing about these new Assassin's Creeds that I really, really, really enjoy the most is that they play like The Witcher now. Like they are like Witcher-esque, but with their own vibe to it. And so that's why I
haven't played them anymore, because I didn't think they were good. But thank you guys I didn't know that. I really appreciate that knowledge. Thank you.
All right, so
strongly recommend if you can find Origins with the season pass for cheap that you get.
I've seen it. It'd be on sale a lot on Microsoft.
Okay. So let me ask this, and then we're going to just move on to the last topic.
2022.
No. What? Okay, so I'm asking you guys, what was for the Assassin's Creed that you played? What was your favorite Assassin's Creed so far?
Origins and 2.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say 2. I like riding a horse. That was fun.
Okay. 2 was that was peak Ubisoft days.
Everybody says 2 was really good. One
was stagnant in the movement. 2 they improved it.
I just stayed away from them, so I'm gonna have to go.
Well, it's like Mass Effect 1. I mean, but Mass Effect 2 came along and they improved it. I mean,
Mass Effect 1 was not as bad as the first
with 2, they took what was not wrong, but concerns
needed to be corrected, right?
And they corrected it and added onto it in 2. You had an economy. You can change your clothing. 1 was the fetch quest. You do this, come back to the dude. Okay,
right.
Now I'm going to give you your this back. Now kill this dude. Kill him, come back. All right, here's your soul. Like, it's not like that. Ezio was real. He had a story. He was angry. He had to get to all these people to right the wrongs. It was
assassinations were better in there, D.
They were varied. It was just very weighted. and realistic. Me personally, as somebody who's played all the Assassin's Creed, even the PSP one, Altair is the worst assassin in my opinion. He's monotone.
Who is?
The
Altair.
PSP one.
Oh, the black chick?
No, that's the BS Vita one. The PSP one is Altair. I find Altair to be the worst assassin. He's dry and monotone. I cannot stand him. But Ezio and Bayek are my favorite. I understand why people like Edward Kenway with Black Flag. I started to love Black Flag after I played the crap out of it and heard the shanties. But Ezio's story going from Altair was a breath of fresh air, which is why they did 3 games with him. I think he's the only assassin that's had multiple games. But that's just me.
He is. Okay. All right. So let's just move on. Okay. Last topic, then we get the hell out of here. All right. Predictions for 2022. One Bad Mother, are you still there, or did you fall asleep on me?
I'm still here. I was like, I was gonna be like on the Ubisoft thing. I was just like, until they release a proper Splinter Cell, I don't care about Ubisoft. But yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So your predictions for 2022. What do you have? Let us know. You know what I'm saying? Make us think about something that make us drop our mouths to the floor, man. Come on, let's go. What you got? What you got?
I don't know that anything is going to make you drop your mouths to the floor, unless that's just what you do when you get tired.
Pretty much, yeah.
But no, I think 2022 is going to be a really good year, and I think as much as people think they know what Starfield is, I think it's going to. I think it's going to have result in the biggest Game Pass spike that Microsoft's ever had within a month. When it comes out, I think it's the most important IP that they're going to release since the original Halo trilogy.
What? That's come on, say that again, because I can't fathom what you just said. Say that again.
So I think Starfield is going to be the most important IP that Microsoft's released since the original Halo trilogy. If you look right now, if you go to your Xbox and you look at what are the most played games, it's consistent. Skyrim's usually in the top 25. Fallout 4 is usually in the top 40. And then if you look at it even, you drill in even further. If you start looking at what's just single player only games, because you can take out all the Gaz games, Skyrim's usually in the top 3 single player games, and Fallout's usually in the top 5 single player games. And those are for games that one of those games came out 10 years ago. And I don't think people really understand, when Fallout 3 came out from Bethesda, it was basically a new IP to most people, right? Like, Fallout,
it was for me.
Fallout 3,
1 and 2. I mean, I actually bought both. I was a PC gamer way back in the day, but those were like niche games. Like most people didn't know who they were. The fact that Fallout just blew up, it's because it was by the makers of Elder Scrolls, right? And I think that sci-fi actually will have more appeal than even a Wasteland will. And, holy shit! Yeah. So, anyways, that's my prediction. I think people are actually underestimating that. And again, a lot of this is predicated on Todd Howard and team delivering what they say they're going to, which is a true RPG, something more in the vein of Skyrim. That's a lot more dynamic, a lot more player autonomy in it. It is going to be the biggest engine improvement they've had since they went from Morrowind to Oblivion. And if they deliver on all that and they still make meet the expectations from Bethesda's fans, for the single player games, I think this is the biggest IP that's going to be on, published by Microsoft in a long, long time.
Wow, that is huge. Now that did drop my mouth to the floor when you were saying that's going to be, you thinking that game is going to be on the same level as the first Halo. Like, I know a lot of people are hyping up that game, man, and I'd say
since the Halo.
Well, no. I get it. I mean, the hype is extraordinary from the gaming media. I don't know enough about it. That's why I just can't jump on board yet. But
yeah, and I understand that. I understand that completely. And people ask, there's like, well, how is a game that nobody's seen? How is that getting that hype? But people are the same way. I mean, Bethesda generally doesn't show gameplay until it's 6 months out from release with these games. And I think they have a general idea. I mean, it's basically, they think Skyrim, but a sci-fi version. It's going to be, these worlds where like every little object is, you
it's
can pick it up.
It's going to be a Skyrim version of No Man's Sky.
I wouldn't say No Man's Sky. I think it's going to be an evolved sci-fi, Skyrim in space, basically. And I think
people are really hyped because of just hearing that.
They understand what it is because they play, like I said, the engagement for those games, other than Rockstar, I think Bethesda is probably second only to Rockstar when it comes to single player games that people play for years and years after. But then you add in the mods and things like that. People kind of get it. Like, I think they can envision kind of what this is supposed to be, right? Like, even though we haven't seen anything, in a way, because they played Bethesda games for so long, they know they have a general idea of what the foundation is. It's just like, how far are you going to evolve that foundation? So and Todd's promised that it's going to be a pretty ambitious jump this time. So
wow.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I think it's going to the impact when it releases, I think, is going to be bigger than what even a lot of enthusiasts think right now. So
that's nuts to think about. Okay, all right. I mean, that's one hell of a prediction. I like that though. What about you, Slayer? What is your prediction for 2022?
Well, first off, Ubisoft Plus costing money. Yeah. I thought it was like EA Play. I don't pay a dime for that extra. I'm not paying a dime for this extra. I don't care what they offer. That's for that. I've never played Assassin's Creed, so I don't care one way or another. I just don't care. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I just don't care.
It'd be like that.
Anyway, but this topic, gaming 2022. Hey, you kept skipping me over, so I'm just gonna put my things out there real quick.
I'm sorry I skipped you. I was just trying to get into it. I want to get y'all out of here, man. I'm sorry.
As for the current topic, man, this year could shape up to be, or set up next year to be, one of the greatest years in gaming. Like 2007 and 1998 are recognized as, okay? Where, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying right now. We are on the cusp, I think. Sony is about to pull out a lot of stops, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Do not underestimate, after all this time of not showing nothing new that they have, they can't be that inept. Okay? Because to be that is to be inept, and Sony is many things. Inept has never been one of them. Okay? Never been one of them.
Agreed.
They've made some debacles company-wide. Every major company has been as old as them has had those things. Okay, so do not underestimate what they have in store. I think they're coming up with a new version of a VR version of PlayStation Home. I believe Hip Hop Gamer, when he says that was already on the lane I was already thinking about. They have a lot of IP that we know they should have been working on sequels to, and we haven't seen nothing really new out of them at E3 or any major conference in a long time. Okay? A long time. There are many things we don't know about that are in the plans that's probably going to be at E3 and other conferences that's going to make, this prediction a lot more possible. Details we don't know yet to consider. We don't know the things that we don't know. Okay, to quote a politician from the past. This year could be that year. If not, what happens this year is going to set up it to happen next year. So hold on to your butts. I think we're in for a wild ride.
All right, Centurion, what do you think, man? What is your predictions for 2022?
Well, I don't want to recap any of the other ones that have been predicted, but I do have one that comes to mind is just how interesting the playing field is going to get when it comes to who is under what umbrella or developing for who, purely because we're starting to see some big players coming out onto the field. Tencent has finally made their presence known by the purchase of, I believe it was Turtle Rock, the guys who did Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
We also know Embracer Group is actually starting to really like go ape shit crazy, acquiring anybody and everybody they can. And they're also investing in other games. They're not just acquiring, they're investing in other companies as well. And then we're starting to see Amazon actually able to, we've seen that they can successfully create a game with the New World.
Yeah.
So the battlefield is definitely going to start changing. We're going to start seeing some of these companies start doing things that we completely could not predict. I also want to believe that WB Games there is going to be something that happens with WB Games. We still see WB consolidating, or Warner Media, if they want to be called that. We see that starting to consolidate. They just put the CW up for sale. So they are looking to recover money. AT&T put out a lot of money. I don't really foresee, it's still up in the air on what is going to happen to WB Games, in my opinion. Everybody wants to say that, this deal that they made with Discovery. The one thing that comes to mind whenever they talk about Discovery is the same thing that happened with the WWF at the time, now the WWE, when Vince McMahon actually purchased WCW. He was not really entertaining the idea of wanting to basically meld the two brands together.
Right, he was a better brand, in my opinion.
He was actually more interested in the film library that the WCW offered, because he knew that the fan base of WCW would pay money to basically have access to that type of entertainment again, which is why they created the network, and they now have streaming rights and everything else to the WCW stuff.
Once they bought them, I was done with wrestling, because WCW was just so amazing to me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying.
I was a WWF fan at the time, but that was because, man, Stone Cold, The Rock, all those guys.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to see a resurgence, especially with AEW. A lot of the WCW guys went over and threw their money, that basically pulled their money together to start AEW, and now they're starting to get some headway and really starting to make WWE look bad. But back on to gaming, I just feel that something is going to happen with the WB gaming division, or WB in general. I really do feel that this would be Microsoft's avenue to acquiring a way to compete with the fact that Sony seems to have some big deal going on with Marvel. So I feel by working together with the WB or acquiring the WB, they would be able to have access to DC style games, and entertainment based games that seem to be PlayStation's main thing. That's their bread and butter, is making games that make you feel like you're in your favorite Marvel movie or your favorite film franchise. And it just, we saw Xbox in the past actually want to try to do something with entertainment outside of games, and the WB would be a resurgence of that.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? That makes a lot of sense, man. I like that. I like the prediction so far, man. Sounds good. Okay. All right. You got any more to add to that, or you good?
No, I'm good.
All right, man. That sounds good. Sounds really interesting. All right, Sir X-Man, what about you, brother? What is your prediction for 2022?
I'm just waiting for Forza Motorsport 7, man.
Oh my God, that's so simple. Come on, man. You didn't let me
put yourself out there.
You didn't let me finish
out there. Get your L.
I want an E3 or whatever they're gonna do announcement for Beyond Good and Evil 2. I've been waiting for that game forever.
Oof,
and
I don't know about that. That shit seems like to be
Ubisoft sent us a trailer out 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I want to know what's going on with the game.
Yeah, it's in development hell from what I'm hearing.
Don't start.
And the dude left.
Oh my God!
Do an animal sanctuary.
You went from not putting yourself out there to
Now.
I
want them to at least announce the next iteration of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
But other than that,
you want another version? You want
next year.
Hold on. Say that again about Tomb Raider.
I want them to announce the next iteration of Tomb Raider.
Okay. That is possible.
Okay. And I just want to see something that I haven't seen, and I want y'all to surprise me this year. I know everything that's coming out, but I want a shocker. I want one that'll make me just drop my controller and say, all right, day one, I want it, and I don't care.
All right.
That's pretty much all I want for 2022, dude.
Nice.
Nothing much, because we know what everything else is coming out. You know what I'm saying? And I want Microsoft to announce Elder Scrolls 6 at their E3 thing, whatever they're going to do, and show gameplay and shock everybody.
I'm with you on that.
You know, that's
Excellent.
about it.
Okay, excellent. All right, so, okay, all right. D, what you got for 2022 predictions?
I'm gonna be a realist. I don't have predictions. I have desires.
We need.
That's what mine was.
We need it. We need predictions.
Okay.
And desires.
I'll give you desires. I can't give you what I ain't got. I got no predictions. I have no predictions. But I will give you my desires. I would like it's wild. I'm not gonna get it. It's fine. I want gameplay and a release date for Fable. State of Decay 3. I would like a sequel. I don't care what platform it is, because I will buy it. I want a sequel for Sunset Overdrive.
What?
Underrated, ridiculously beautiful game. Like,
that's a game that I played, but I've never fully got into. I just haven't. I need to. I want to.
Oh, the grinding on there is
ridiculous.
No, I beat the first boss, and then I never went back to that game. I never went back to it. It just never went.
It never got an update. I think it's still what is it 900p 30 frames on Xbox?
Yeah. I think
I'm not sure. Yeah,
it is.
I would like an announcement. Not that doesn't have to be gameplay, not a release date of a new Gears. Because I know what you said, K-Mega, but it's been 4 years. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all done got Horizon out the way. Y'all got Halo out the way. The next logical entry or tackling is gonna be Gears. I would like announcements. This is gonna sound really weird. Even though I had no interest in Fallout, I would like an announcement, like y'all said, that just knocks the socks off, like the announcement of Fallout 4. If you're not familiar with the announcement of Fallout 4 back in 2015, basically Todd Howard got up there and was, selling Fallout 4. This is July of 2015. And then he was like, yeah, by the way, this is coming out in November. And it was just like, oh my God, like what? It was just, if you ever watch like E3 reaction videos, which is really nice if you watch, like just see the excitement and shit, even if it's a game you don't care about, just hearing the crowd like, are you serious? Like, it's coming out this year and it came out that year. That was pretty cool too. And a Rayman. I know I'm never getting it, but a Rayman. I want a Rayman.
I have an add-on.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I heard what Sir X-Man said, but go ahead, say it, Sir X-Man.
His mic just all of a sudden trailed off.
I want to show me gameplay of the new Indiana Jones you're making.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I
And
want.
Atomic Heart. I wanted a release date for Atomic Heart.
I've seen Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart
a little
is definitely
bit.
coming out.
It looked.
Yeah, I think it's coming out. It's coming out this year.
It's coming out this year.
Coming out this
I
year.
need a date. I need dates.
Probably March, April. Man.
But if that Indiana Jones has exploring like Tomb Raider style,
Ooh, Nelly.
that's gonna be sick.
That could be a good surprise.
I do think that they. I don't think that's far fetched, but that's a good prediction about the Indiana Jones.
You would know life that K Mega. You would get every little dime out of it.
Oh yeah.
You guys heard what engine they were building State of Decay 3 on, right?
No. What is it? What is it?
Was that 5?
Unreal 5.
Yeah.
Bitch.
So it just came out that they're developing a big part of their they're dedicating a big part of their studio for Unreal Engine 5 development.
That means the zombies are real.
You ain't gotta tell me twice.
They said that's going to be the last zombie game that I'm going to.
And not only that, Centurion, they actually started up a animation studio, that was something they were asking Xbox or Microsoft for when Microsoft went to them and said, okay, what do you guys need to make this AAA? They're like, well, we really could use we really want to up our animations and things like that. And so they're actually starting a new animation studio. So yeah, it's going to be Unreal 5 and it's going to have top end animations. They are going all out.
I mean, they got to revamp the code from the beginning to.
I mean,
they were always developing with the plans to go to Unreal 5, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I would expect a AAA high production value game.
Well, yeah, that's what they said. They said this one was going to be a AAA game. So but they talk about that's going to be impressive. So that probably won't be dropping until probably 2023 or 2024. But
probably 2024.
Oh, 2024. That's when my Power Stones remake come out. So I'm good.
Well, that's what the rumors from that. What you call it? All right. So,
I can't wait.
So I guess it ends with me right now. All right. So my prediction for 2022 is Xbox will get Ninja Gaiden exclusive.
Yes, sir.
They will get Ninja Gaiden exclusive. That will be announced. They will also have an announcement of another game coming from Tecmo. Could be Dead or Alive 7 to be on Game Pass. And I also will predict that Killer Instinct will be announced at E3. Killer Instinct 2 will be finally announced.
Versus Mortal Kombat.
No, it's just going to be Killer Instinct 2.
Yeah,
also,
they're definitely going to announce that. I agree.
I think also the big splash that will destroy the internet that Splinter Cell will be an exclusive to Xbox and PC.
You doing a lot right now, my guy.
No, I'm going.
It has been for a while,
bro. I'm going. I'm not playing this
Hang
year.
on, I'm printing this receipt real quick.
Yeah, print this receipt. Put it up. Put it up.
We should have written these down. So all
we got to do is replay the video. Remember the episode?
So somebody please take a clip of what I'm saying and then throw it at me if I'm wrong about it. Yeah.
I'm clipping it right now.
And clip it. But what I'm saying to you guys right now is this: what I'm saying. Ninja Gaiden is going to come to Xbox.
A bold statement is one thing, but to force people to make sure they have receipts just in case you're wrong for them to put in your face.
No,
come on, man. Why are you advocating so hard for your own?
I think we need to turn this into like the Masked Singer, where we have this little magical golden box where we put all the predictions in it, and at the end of the year we find out who knew what.
So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. I think the Splinter Cell and Ninja Gaiden will be exclusive to Xbox. Will be or if anything timed, but I do think that they'll be exclusive to Xbox. I do think that Xbox will have probably a Game Pass deal with another game from Tecmo, which I think might be Dead or Alive, and then Killer Instinct will be announced. I also think that with the crazy situation now, see, this was just me hypothetically going there, but since One Bad Mother brought this up about Starfield, which I know nothing about, which can't be overly hyped about, but what he said to me, this is what I'm thinking, right? Even with PlayStation dropping, their three biggest IPs.
God of War in the fall.
God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, which I feel Horizon Forbidden West will be a bigger title than God of War coming up this year. And Gran Turismo, I feel that Xbox will still come ahead because of the theory of of what One Bad Mother, what so many other people are talking about with Starfield. Because I think Redfall, I think that Motorsport 7, and I think Stalker 2, and I also think the smaller titles like Scorn, Crossfire X, and Ex Machina will sit there and make people look at Xbox at a higher, will put Xbox in a higher position than what PlayStation did with their biggest three. And if they do that, it's Xbox generation here on out.
One more prediction, K-Mega. We're not gonna be able to find consoles for another year.
So, you know what? I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You can find the S.
So
you might.
You can play.
I bet you even the S is going to be hard to find this Christmas.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
think it's going to be in higher demand next Christmas than it was this Christmas. So
yeah,
that's
and if I'm right about Ninja Gaiden and Splinter Cell 2 being announced as being
Ninja Gaiden day one,
being exclusive on Xbox, then it's all she wrote. It's all she wrote. I don't care what no PlayStation gamer will tell me about, you know what I'm saying? Now, PlayStation's not going away. PlayStation will not be destroyed or nothing. That's ignorance. PlayStation will always be here as long as Sony wants to keep PlayStation. The point I'm making, though, is that for Xbox to win the generation, if they get Splinter Cell, remember, let's not forget that the thing that there was an article out, and then there was information out there that they said that they got exclusive rights to a game that nobody is thinking that they'll get the rights to, and they're very pleased. There's only like two or three games that would make the earth shake in the gaming universe. Splinter Cell is one. I'm thinking maybe I don't know.
I have to disagree. I don't think Splinter Cell is that big to have that kind of effect.
No. Splinter Cell will.
It's big on Xbox.
It's big on Xbox, but it's not that big to have that level of effect.
Splinter Cell is the next closest thing to Siphon Filter to a PlayStation fan. Splinter Cell is huge. Splinter Cell is huge. Batman is huge.
Batman is
if they get WB.
That's megaton.
Batman is huge. And then if you look at something else like Ninja Gaiden, those three is huge. I mean, there's more on top of that, of course. But those three titles right there could really make people say, you know what? Xbox is just going to, because you still got Indiana Jones and you still got all these other games you got Perfect Dark, you got Hellblade, you got Fable, you got all, you got
Hellblade.
You got Gears that's going to be coming. You're going to have,
and there is a rumor about a brand new Riddick.
There is a rumor about that. I've heard. I don't know about Riddick. Now that would be crazy.
I can only hope that rumor is true.
I would too.
Heard that. You heard that rumor too?
Yeah. And also you got Warhammer Dark Tide and you got Bright Memory Infinite. Bright Memory Infinite, that's already on PC. That's only like about 3 hours long. So that's a cool game to play, but that's not going to be the game that gets people to say, "Oh man, I got to buy me an Xbox." So if Scorn is a good 10 hour title, if Crossfire X is a good 6 to 10 hour title to play, and then if Ex Machina is a good multiplayer always online game, on top of you hearing that Killer Instinct 2 is going to be coming out, Ninja Gaiden's going to be coming out, Indiana Jones is exclusive, and then everything else that we've talked about, like that's just, people are going to be saying, Final Fantasy can take all the time they want. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if Xbox fuck around and say, we're going to bring Lost Odyssey 2 back, we're going to bring Lost Odyssey back, Lost Odyssey 2 or Blue Dragon, I don't know what to say. But those are my predictions. And so, clip them up, see what you think. But let's get the hell out of here. I'm sorry, guys, that we went extra late. But in 2022, starting the year, very first GRG, I thank you guys for still sticking around. And I thank you guys for not leaving and going to bed. Y'all probably got things to do. So let's get the hell out of here. One Bad Mother, thank you so much, man, for coming on, brother. Where can they find you at, man?
Probably sleeping.
This guy.
I promise I will not have another podcast this long with you guys.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, K-Mega, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yes.
Always enjoy talking to you. We bullshit. We basically do hours and hours of podcasts while we're playing Halo a lot of times. So it's just we're not getting recorded. But
right.
Yeah, people want to find me. I do stuff with Xbox Hero. Just go to xboxhero.com. You'll find me there, or you can find me on Twitter at mother_1. Don't ask me how I got there. But anyways.
All right, mama.
Link is
One Bad Mother. That's where that comes from. But,
yes.
Yeah. Shut your mouth.
Damn right.
Where did that come from, though? One Bad Mother. Where did that come from?
So it comes from that, One Bad Mother, shut your mouth. But a combination of that, and then also one of my favorite movies of all time was Pulp Fiction. And
okay.
Animal Mother from that other movie, the Vietnam movie.
No. I always think about the wallet at the end. It's like, well, which one's your wallet? He's like, the one that says "bad motherfucker" on it. So it's like, so I guess I kind of took the spirit of that and then put it something that wouldn't get banned on Xbox Live, and that was my day one gamer tag, and I just kind of stuck with it, with everything since. So yeah, if anybody's out there that likes to play Halo, you can find me out there under that gamer tag as well.
Nice, excellent. All right. And Centurion, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure when I ask you again, it's going to be some really nice, comforting things like, man, how's your family? Sorry, Mega, but you know what? I just can't. So I only got to wait for another 2 years. But you know what? As long as I can get you again in the next couple of years, it's all going to be worth it. But where can they find you at, Centurion?
Feel free to reach out anytime. I will say it. I work way too damn much. I don't know why I let them work me that much, but hey, I'm in love with making money.
Oh, man. Yeah. Love making that money. Let's show up. Payday coming. Feels good to the mother. Anyway.
For those that do want to find me, you can find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Twitter, and Xbox Live. You can find me every Saturday night on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam and the rest of the crew over there. And you can also find me every Sunday night with Invader Gaming and the rest of the guys over on the TXR podcast, like Tim Dog. Man, I've been podcasting for a good long time, and this is the longest. This is the long. Huh?
How long have you been podcasting, bro? It's been a minute.
Like 2 years. 2 years every weekend for 2 years. Longer, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good bunch of good time. This is definitely the longest show I've ever been on for sure, man. You're gonna hold that record, but feel free to reach out to me anytime. I enjoy podcasting
for sure. I enjoy it too, but I ain't trying to keep people here that long, bro.
I will definitely be truthful. It kind of got started because my wife heard Boomstick talking about how he doesn't podcast Friday nights because he spends time with his wife. Yeah. And that's when my wife gave me that look. She's like, well, then you should do that with me, which is why I don't. I actually got special permission from my master and commander to be here tonight.
Oh, so she's probably looking at me like, fuck that cat. So okay, tell your wife I'm so sorry.
Dude, you're fine. You're fine.
Man, tell her I promise to God that I will not have you or anybody else on a 3.5, 4 hour like podcast again.
Marathon podcast.
Yes.
We're all catching up from spending it's been what, 2 weeks since a lot of the podcasts have been out. So just catching up.
This was just a tribute since Attic was supposed to be on.
Right.
It's a tribute to ILP and their
Shout out to Attic, you know what I'm saying? Talk about his lost in the snow. He probably sitting back, you know what I'm saying?
When K Mega bring the year in, he bring it in long, don't he?
Hey, bro. Tough. We would have been quite quicker if your ass didn't even come in and say, you got room. Anyway, no.
Hey, I love it, bro.
I love it too. Thank you, Sarah Jr., man. I really do appreciate it, brother, man. I will definitely hit you up again, and you know what I'm saying, and hopefully that your wife, tell your wife, please forgive me. But yeah, it's wonderful. All right, so Sir X-Man, man, where can they find you at, man? You were just on Crossfire earlier.
Yeah, I know. I got the day off, man, like I said, and I was like, okay, I did all my running around today in the cold. It's like, let me do something. So I jumped on there, and I was like, I left early because I was like, I wanted to see if I text you before I left, and I wanted to see if I can get in with you and hang out with you for a night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I really appreciate it, man. No doubt.
Anytime. You know, I usually get home about 10 o'clock. I could actually do your show almost every week.
Yeah, you could.
Which if you wanted.
You could. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we'll talk about that, have discussions. It's no big deal. So,
yeah. Fight night's kind of hard with all the overtime I be doing sometimes.
Yeah. You don't come on fight night no more. And
it's hard, man.
I appreciate y'all be getting your ass about that. You be getting scared, but that's okay, though.
I came a couple of weeks ago. We had fun. We tested that xCloud, remember?
Yeah, we did test that xCloud, but then I got into the argument with some random, and then,
it went left real fast with fight night.
You got into an argument with somebody on xCloud?
No, okay, so
we were playing Mortal Kombat.
Never mind.
We were playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, the live chat still works,
but we were also playing the game on,
and we were running it through the cloud.
We were running it through the cloud, and we were both downloading the game onto our Xboxes and on our PCs.
And PCs, yeah.
At the same time while we were running it off the cloud, and
he was streaming it at the same time. We had no lag.
Yeah, and there was no lag.
Crossplays back in effect?
Issue. Yeah, and but
excellent.
The problem, this one dude was whooping our ass, and he just kept talking shit. And you know me, I am not, I ain't gonna tolerate too much shit talking. And so it was just back and forth.
He kept picking the same character over and over again, and came back at him and got at it like, well, pick somebody else. You want to talk all that crap? Pick somebody else. See how good you really are. And pretty much that was the end of it.
Yeah, and that was the end of it. But yeah, so and then I was like, you know what? That's not how I wanted to do. So I deleted that stream, and I haven't streamed since then. But I will be streaming Fight Night this weekend. So. And then we put that dude to rest. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace.
I might be there at 10 o'clock this week.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm doing overtime again, so I'll be home around 10.
All right, cool, excellent. But all right, so Slayer, where can they find you at, brother?
Excuse me. Well, you can find me
other than choking to death.
Slayer. I don't know why. Slayer on everything. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow me right here on YouTube. Tomorrow, Dragon's Den podcast returns. 6 p.m. Eastern.
4-hour show.
Oh, that's it?
Okay. I said 4-hour show tomorrow.
Maybe, potentially. Who knows? Who knows, right? But yeah, man, it's gonna be good times as always. So come check us out. I got a lot of projects in the works for the year.
You got some more online stuff to be doing. You got some streaming stuff, some other stuff.
Well, anytime I'm gaming, I'm streaming. It's just automatic. I don't think anybody watches, but I always flip it on Twitch.
People
like
will
I say,
check it out.
I'm not
on everything.
Twitch. My bad.
Yeah. Yes, it's not something I actively do. It's just I flip it on when I'm gaming, so anybody can see what I'm gaming. Just live like that. But I do have some projects. that I'm working on. I'm gonna do a couple of video reviews. Like I said, I got a video review of that 8-bit remote for the Xbox One and the Series consoles. It's compatible with both. That was a little bit of a practice video because the Steam Deck is coming soon, and you guys know I've got that first batch. I'm definitely in that first batch, so I'll be one of the few people available, to try to do a review or unboxing and whatnot. Like I say, I'm just using my iPad that I got year before last, iPad Pro. So I'm just gonna use that. I'm a complete noob. I just want to get information out there, so don't expect high production quality. But I just want to share information, stuff like that. That's really my steez, and that's how I plan to keep it. So yeah, I got lots of things upcoming. So just follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep everybody posted.
Nice, excellent. And last but not least, we got D. What's going on? Where can they find you at? Do you got anything planned going on in the 2022 other than hating on Assassin's Creed? Your mouth is disrespectful on the Creed.
Wow.
Okay, first of all,
Oh my lord! It's gonna be another 4 hours.
No, we
Make another sandwich. I'm gonna go make another sandwich.
All right, good, man. Tell you what,
Give me one.
show too. Yeah, give me one too. I like pickles. I like pickles and mustard. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so anyways,
Yeah, I just need a Dr. Pepper.
I'm gonna be frank. I ain't got shit going on. I'm just out here.
You got a new podcast.
No, I don't.
It's gonna be popping. Yeah, you do. You got a new podcast.
I mean, yeah. At some point, but as of right now, I'm on GRG every Friday, 9:00. And
so hit this woman up so y'all can get her on, so she can give her gaming expertise. Unless y'all ask about gears.
I'm on Xbox at Curvy Titan and Twitter and PlayStation at Gingy's mom. I had to get a whole new account because Sony was on some bullshit.
I'm not gonna get it.
What else is
new? Had to get a whole. Thankfully, I knew my login from literally 2010, so I was able to go to my old account. But yeah, and I'm on Twitch, DMarieB. I do stream every once in a while. I think the last time I streamed was actually like when the ball dropped for New Year's. I was just like, I'm bored. I'm gonna play Gears. So I do play every once in a while, but yeah, just chilling, just going to work, grinding.
You sound like me. Not enough time to game. Work.
Not enough. I mean, yeah, that
I know.
I've gotten into a routine, to be honest, and I'm kind of mad. But I come home, I decompress, I play my tour of duty objectives for Gears 5, and then that's it. Like, it's just a routine at this point. Like, I enjoy it, but I just be chilling. So it's just like,
You in that zone of gaming. I know that feeling. I was there.
So
I've been there.
I want to start new things. I started Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, this is pretty. I want to dedicate time to it. I want to put it aside. And I haven't picked it back up. And I'm like, it's really pretty. I really want to play it. But Gears is just so comfortable for me. I don't have to learn anything, if that makes sense. I just pick it up, play it.
It's like comfort food.
It's a comfort game at this point. So, yeah. That's it.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot to add, sometimes I stream Rock Band on Twitch. So if you people want to get down to some music, just come on in. I got a lot of songs. If I got it, I'll play it for you.
You can't stream. You cannot stream radio wagon music. You know what I'm saying? Or
I can stream anything I want. I got 700 songs on Rock Band.
You can't do that. You can't do. You can't do that type of music on Twitch. But anyway, all right.
Uptown Funk gonna give it to you.
Uptown Funk gonna give it. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. I know that I'm going to get the typical people that come, give us a timestamp. If I got the time, I will do it. And I will put the timestamp in. For not just listen to the whole damn show and enjoy because we had a good time. We had a good topic.
45 minutes of Assassin's Creed right here.
There's always like 2 or 3 people that's like, I need timestamps. And I understand timestamps are important. But you know what? Listen to the goddamn show. I might put the timestamps in because we do we do because we did have like 30, 40 minutes of complaining about the whole COVID vaccine situation. So I might just go ahead and do that because of that. No. That's not a sorry. That was on me too. So I think that was on everybody. Everybody wanted to just kind of let out their frustrations. So
oh damn! Guess what I just found out?
What happened?
Ooh,
What happened?
What's the
Scalpers are now required to report, are gonna start being 1099. eBay and all the other, it basically just went into law January 1st. It just came up. Clowns just showed me. Yeah, they have. If they sell more than $600 in 1 year, it gets reported on a 1099.
Let's go. That is fantastic.
You don't call it
Whoever
scalpers,
made that
console
law,
scalpers.
that
All it
is-
is
yes,
F in the
get
view.
ass. Get 'em.
fucking
Get 'em.
go?
That is
Gay.
awesome. So so there was a reason why we had a long ass podcast tonight. But anyway, other than that, man, thank you guys so much. Man, thank you for experience. That is awesome. Yes, look for a lot more K Mega this year. I promise you, it is about to happen. I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I sit there and I've had to deal with these injuries that I got 3 years ago from my job. Now I know can't ever do that again. I still got 2 more surgeries that I gotta get, so I'm gonna be off for another year. So might as well go hard in the paint. So let's might as well just act the damn fool and just do more podcasting, more streaming, more everything. So while I'm gonna be doing that, I hope you guys will enjoy and support. And support everybody that's been on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got the links in the description. So come and check these guys out. Big shout out to Lord Attic while he was sleeping in his car in a snowstorm. Probably over here lighting his beard on fire. No, I'm playing. Shout out to Lord. But all that other than that, man, thank you guys so much, man. Have a great Saturday. Go check out all the podcasts that's going to be out there for this coming up weekend. And, man, we will see you guys next Friday. GRG Podcast is back. And we can't wait to see you guys next week, man. So God bless y'all. Have a good one. Love y'all. If you get vaccinated or you don't, I love y'all. Just be safe and just try to take care of everybody. And on top of that, listen. The one thing that I always say is that I'm always down for the pants off dance off, but if you guys gonna get out there and get vaccinated, then why the hell can we do that? So I'm trying to live through you guys. I'm married. I can't do that. The only pants off dance off is my wife. So you know what I'm saying? So y'all guys can't be going out there just being foul. And if y'all just ladies and guys are just out there being nasty and not taking care of one another, then what's the point of everything? So I just gotta play video games. I don't know. But anyway, I'm out. I know that was a rant, just no nonsense rant. Everybody have a good one, man. We are out. Peace.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG Podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. This was the GRG Podcast.